The Monty Show, the truth in sports talk streaming. When you want unbiased opinions about your favorite team without the spin, all you have to do is find The Monty Show, streaming live and available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on YouTube. And now, here's Monty.
Hey, yo, man. How the heck are you? It is The Monty Show on a Thursday, June 8th, 2023. Colorado canceled their Board of Regents meeting. Damn it, now what? Shut up. Like the conspiracy theories that went blazing around the internet today. Oh my God, Colorado's pregnant. Like what? The Zion Williamson jokes about Colorado canceling their Board of Regents meeting. Come on now. Well, actually, that was Jake who made that joke. But anyway, the point is, it's amazing. Colorado canceled the meeting and people think the world is over. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys in the business at theadvocates.com, my friends. If you're out there on those bicycles, if you're out there on your motorcycles, your scooters, please, The Advocates remind you to be careful. Please wear a helmet because it can be dangerous. But if you get into an accident, and somebody hits you because they're not giving you enough space, they're distracted on their phone, that's not your fault. You're doing what you're supposed to be doing. Somebody else is not. You deserve somebody to fight for you because let's be honest, when you're on a bicycle or a motorcycle and you get in an accident with a car, you're usually on the wrong end of that one. You need to concentrate on getting healthy. Let the advocates help you fight for what you deserve. And I can tell you, I have an auto insurance issue going on right now. Do you really think your auto insurance company is on your side?
No.
Try cracking your windshield, and then let's talk about if your auto insurance is on your side.
As you can see, there's not much hope for you left.
Because there's none. That's why you deserve an advocate. They have 1,000 attorneys at your auto insurance company. You don't think you deserve one as well? Absolutely you do. And it costs you nothing. Get to the Advocates, UtahAdvocates.com. Make sure you tell them you heard about it on the Monty Show. Let's do some shout-outs on a Thursday. LV Seminole, yes, you are first. Let's see, Preston Dorfeld, fourth, third loser. I like it. Provo Cougar fan also in early today. The only for sure P5 realignment is 21 days and a wake-up away. Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, and BYU. Go Cougs.
Okay.
Very on brand for BYU fan. Truck Stop Gumby says third like, cow turd.
Third like, cow turd.
Cow turd.
You know, you got to like that. Tom Dean, what's up with you? Nate Simons, how the heck are you? Yes, everybody hit the like button. Tom Dean says they canceled their Board of Regents meeting is all I know. Indeed, Colorado did that today, and I actually do think that is the biggest story of the day, and I'm not even sure that it is close. But what I do know is there was nothing planned about realignment as far as we are aware. There was no big announcement coming. There was no vote on leaving the conference. Colorado is in lockstep with the other 10 members of this conference, which is to say that Colorado is going to be patient because there's no need to be anything else but patient. There's no hurry here. I think all 10 members of the Pac-12 would like to get this done as soon as possible, but nobody's in a hurry because I am of the belief system that if Colorado, and I don't believe it'll be one team, I think it will be a group of teams should anybody leave the conference. If Colorado were to leave the conference, it would send shockwaves through the rest of the members of the conference. And I believe teams like Arizona and Utah, Oregon and Washington would be forced to act. So this is not a move that Colorado is going to take lightly, and they're certainly not going to do it in a brief, Board of Regents meeting. That's just not the way Colorado has gone about this. And Jake, I think we all get excited because it's a Board of Regents meeting and it's in public. So certainly they must be talking about a vote on leaving the conference.
Yeah, certainly, right? No, not really. I think that obviously there was an overreaction to this meeting. And again, it's a very straightforward thing. Nobody's making any decisions until a media deal comes back and they know what that number is. It's just really that simple. And I think, after the events of yesterday and some of the reporting and everything, and if you don't know what I'm talking about, go and watch yesterday's show. But after what happened yesterday, I think that there's some burnout on, bad reporting. There's some burnout on getting ahead of the curve. There's some burnout on, saying something and reporting something that just is blatantly not true. And so with this meeting, I think a lot of people just didn't believe everyone who was saying, this is going to be a vote to leave the conference. I think because of yesterday, people were like, well, actually, we don't really know that. They just kind of canceled the meeting, and it is what it is. And I think you can kind of see the frustration with the whole situation. And so for my money, I'm just like, yeah, hey, they canceled the meeting. I don't think they were voting on leaving the conference, mainly because they don't know if they want to leave the conference. And really, the whole situation just comes down to whether they know the number with the distribution deal. Because again, I don't believe that there's equal revenue sharing, even with all these reports out there. There's no way on God's green Pac-12 conference that Oregon is going to get the same share as Washington State. That's not happening. That's not how it works. So for all these people out there, talking about equal revenue sharing and every team's going to get the same slice of the pie, that is just not true. We don't know that. And if it is true, nobody's signing that grant of rights. That's not happening. Phil Knight and his Nike money is not signing that grant of rights. President Cossé at Washington's not signing that grant of rights. So for me, I look at this Colorado meeting and I just say it's a nothing burger. There's nothing there. They weren't voting on going to the Big 12. Just because it was a public session does not immediately mean that you were voting to go to the Big 12. So I just think it wasn't a big deal. I think that's as easy as it is.
Yeah, and I know there have been all kinds of wild rumors around about why they canceled the. Until something happens, nothing happened. Not to be the master of the obvious, and I say that because this is. I think most people view this as just some little game that we're waiting to play out. It's not a game in any way, shape, or form. These moves have very serious implications on a lot of people's lives. There are people's livelihoods at stake. There are people's incomes at stake. There are people's legacies at stake. You don't take that stuff lightly. I mean, you look at the job that a lot of these people that work for the Pac-12 do. They're going to be out of work if this whole thing, if everybody that's celebrating the Pac-12 collapsing, there's a human toll to be paid for that. Mm-hmm. So I think we really work hard not to celebrate and not to overreach, because I just don't think there's a need to do that.
Well, and I think that word you use there, celebrating. There's a lot of people celebrating this Pac-12 situation, and I think it's unnecessary. Do we talk about it every day? Yeah, we do. Does that mean that we're celebrating the Pac-12 burning to the ground? No, we're not.
Not at all.
I believe that you're paying the price for the decisions you made and the commissioners you hired. Like I literally think that's all this is, because I can assure you that with a better commissioner, the Comcast situation never happens. With better management and better leadership, a lot of these situations you find yourself in never happen. Hey, by the way, maybe if you had a more savvy commissioner, maybe they would have listened to Fox and ESPN when those two came to you and said, hey, you should merge with the Big 12. Maybe you would have given that conversation some more credence. I don't know. But I think that's why you're there. And I don't think it should be celebrated because, frankly, with all due respect to Stillwater and the Midwest and everything, you're not shaking a stick at the Bay Area or Los Angeles or San Diego or the Pacific Northwest. Like, that's prime real estate and geography in our country.
Totally agree.
And the idea that a conference is burning to the ground that has that geography is incredible to me.
Yeah, it is mismanagement. I don't have any issue with that. Tom Dean says, I read the CU president needed an emergency colonoscopy. No idea if that's true or not, and I hope it's not true. I hope it's not true.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not, like, to me, with all due respect to Tom, and I appreciate the $2, are we really sitting here thinking, like, this is what we've reduced a Board of Regents meeting to? That certainly there must have been a colonoscopy which is the only reason that Colorado wouldn't leave the conference. Not that that's what Tom is saying, but I mean, when we're guessing that a guy had to have an emergency colonoscopy and that's why a Board of Regents meeting didn't happen, that's kind of shocking to me.
Like, do you understand the reach that is? And like, do you understand how bad of a situation it has to be for someone to need an emergency colonoscopy?
Yeah, I really hope that's not the case.
Yeah.
Because I don't think that's funny. Anyway. Expedition Greg gives us $2 to say, totally love the Big Ten new schedule model. Yeah, we'll talk about that coming up. I think they crushed it. They absolutely crushed it. As the Big 12 has, interestingly enough, on Big 12 Mexico. Mm-hmm. Why are you not a fan of this?
Yeah, I think that from a business standpoint, it's fine. I understand the logic and the positives from a business standpoint, but I think there are just a couple of items that no one's talking about. Like Mexico isn't the safest country in the world. I'm not saying that the United States is perfectly safe either, right? I'm not saying that. I'm not trying to compare the two, but
sure.
When I look at the Big 12 and I look at, trying to expand in a global sense, I love that concept, but I do think there's some baggage that comes with it. Like how many articles do I read on a weekly basis of, hey, this tourist or that tourist, wound up on the side of the road or something, or some horrible act was done. Like I understand that these kids are protected. They're in, a schedule. They're in very protected spaces. And are the odds high that something happens to them? No, of course not, right? Like, of course not. But I just wonder, okay, why was Mexico the first choice? Well, because it's close, right? It's our southern border. It's right there. It's not far. Like, logistically speaking, it's easy. So I get it. But I just think when you talk about Big 12 expansion and really just college athletic expansion and getting to other countries and regions where you wouldn't necessarily be in a traditional sense, you got to be careful and you got to take into account that things like, LiAngelo Ball trying to steal sunglasses out of a shop in China, I think it was, or wherever that was, things like that can happen. And we can go from nice, cute little basketball tournament in another country to, hey, kid is sitting in a Mexican jail cell real quick. Like, those are the things that I have concerns with. Now, from a business sense, amazing. Money-making opportunity, you're growing your brand, like you're becoming a global entity instead of just a domestic entity. Like,
right.
It makes perfect sense. But I just have some concerns around that because I think when kids go into other countries, they're in the moment, they do things they shouldn't, and now all of a sudden you got a mess on your hands. And that's the tough part.
Yeah, I think it is a stroke of genius in business that you are going to start playing basketball games in Mexico in December of 2024. I think that when you're going to have a bowl game as soon as 2026 in Monterey, I think it's genius. I mean, anything to grow that brand internationally. And the funny thing is, you bring up the LiAngelo Ball situation at UCLA. That was the Pac-12's attempt to reach the Pacific Rim.
Yeah.
And it failed miserably. And I think that is, when we talk about mistakes and issues and things that have hurt or hampered the Pac-12, certainly that LiAngelo Ball moment in time for UCLA is one that a lot of people will go back to.
Yeah.
Now, does something like that happen in Mexico? Man, I certainly hope not, and I would think not.
Yeah.
Are the dangers of the everyday reality for the Mexican people, something to consider? Of course. But I think if you're the Big 12, you have infrastructure in place for that. Yeah. And I think any country that you travel to, you have to be aware. I don't particularly worry about that. I think it is an amazing win for the Big 12 to get on that stage, to be in that spotlight. I think is huge. Yeah. And the PR that you're going to generate and the recruiting that you're going to get out of that, the cultural exposure that your athletes and staff are going to get out of that. Like, I just don't see how it's not a win altogether. I think it brings value for your TV partners. I think partners like ESPN Deportes, it is roundly a win. Mm-hmm. For the Big 12, for its business partners, its commercial division. I think it is roundly a win. And I think the thing that when you compare the Big 12 to the Pac-12, the hard part is the Pac-12 doesn't currently have the ability to do any of this.
Yeah.
Because you don't know if you're going to be here in 2020.
Facts.
And I think it is very smart of the Big 12 to keep running away. I mean, you are sprinting away from the Pac-12 that is standing still. Mm-hmm. And I think in the money-making department, I think you're level with the SEC. I mean, if you're not level, you're close to level.
Yeah.
Because you are, if you're going to play a bowl game, dude, that is good money.
Yeah.
That is good money. And a bowl game that will be desirable because it's in a huge stadium that is going to be packed. Because the Mexican people love American sports.
The other question I would have for in specifically in a bowl game scenario, let's not forget the NFL experience, right? When the NFL was playing games in Mexico, the players complained about the turf and had some quality issue complaints. I wonder, if we see that, or if because it's not the NFL, if the Big 12 says, "Hey, we got certain standards that we gotta live up to." Those are things that I would be looking for. But again, like I said, I'm not saying that this is a bad idea. I think it's a great idea. I just think that you have to really be buttoned up on, things like grass quality, field quality, safety and security. Like if you do all those things, then there's no reason why it can't be a super successful venture and idea.
I just on reach alone.
Yeah.
On reach alone, man, to be able to put Kansas basketball in Mexico City, to be able to put your best football brand in Monterrey, Mexico. I mean, that's the stuff of legends, man. Like that's just the exposure to the Mexican community and to the culture of Mexico. Huge win. But when we're talking about branding, when we're talking about and many of you may not know this, I don't know, but the baseball leagues in Mexico are actually quite good.
Yeah.
To be playing Big 12 baseball, let's say, in Mexico, to be mixing your maybe it's soccer, maybe it's, obviously it's basketball, to be mixing your basketball leagues with the Mexican Professional Basketball Association, to be bringing American football, which is massive in Mexico, to Monterrey in a population like the people of Monterrey. I just think it's a massive win. It is. I don't know how else you spin it. I really don't. I think it is. It's going to be incredible.
Yeah.
And whether it's money making, TV reach, recruiting, it's going to be incredible. It is really going to be incredible. Ted Adams says they're replacing the turf from scratch after the last NFL game down there. It will be brand new sod in 24-25. Yeah, I'm not worried at all about that. I'm not worried at all about that. So, that, but that's just me. Truck Stop Gumby says the Tapatio Conference. Could be. Absolutely could be. But that's just me. Cougar Tracks says, I'm fine with Mexico if I can take a gun. Take it easy. See, and look, again, and I just disagree with you on this. Mm-hmm. I understand, are there drug cartels and murders and gun wars? Yeah. Welcome to the United States of America. Oh, I'm sorry. Welcome to Mexico. I understand that it is a country that struggles with crime, as do we. I understand it is a country that struggles with guns, as do we. I understand it's a country that struggles with the drug trade and murder, as do we. That doesn't mean that people shouldn't come here and enjoy culture and travel and sports. You have to be vigilant. You have to be smart. You have to be educated. If you are the Big 12, you have to bring security. You have to have security measures in place. I just don't think it's that big of a deal. Mm-hmm. I don't. Kurt Peters says, I love me some summer Tapatio. Mild. That's all I'm asking for. My wife loves the spicy, not me. Spangler, no, the cartel turned those guys into the police. The cartel are good guys. Come on now. Mexico has an enormous upper class, tons of untapped money and access. Sure, could be. Kurt Peters, all I know is don't take the Big 12 basketball to Russia. We'd not cool there.
You know.
See what he like? That's a Brittany Griner reference.
I'm just saying,
cannabis oil.
Situations like that. Now, do I think that Mexico is far easier to deal with than the Russians? Obviously.
Yep, I would agree. Drew Christensen, I'm with two holes. Jakey two holes.
Hey, by the way, Drew Christensen's big on the Macavo. What did we hear this morning in a little meeting? What did we hear?
Stop. Dude,
hey, guys.
We're 21 minutes into the show. Let me take a breath before you start running out how great the Bacavo is.
Well.
Right? We've established this on the show. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes the Bacavo more than they like the Deluxe. Nobody. Mm-hmm. And nobody's taken the Bacavo over the Cordon Bleu.
Well.
Nobody.
I guess there's one of us.
You. That's it.
Me.
You. There's nobody else that's taken the Bacavo over the Deluxe at Super Chicks. It's not happening.
I know.
Drew says, I'm with two holes. I'm not a huge fan personally of the Big 12 basketball in Mexico.
Okay, hear me clearly, though, because I'm not saying I'm not a fan of it, right? Like, I've been kind of clear on this. I'm a fan of the idea. I'm a fan of, hey, expand your brand internationally. Absolutely. From a business sense, it makes total sense. Sure. All I'm saying is that it's one incident away. Do we have gun problems and drug problems here? Yes, we do. What's the difference? If someone gets in trouble here, they're on U.S. soil, not Mexican or Russian soil. That's the only difference. That's it. I'm not trying to say that it's a bad idea. Yeah. Not trying to say I'm not a fan of it. I agree. We have issues here. People be dying every day in Chicago. Every single day.
Every day.
Every day. Yet, we still have Bulls games. I get it. I absolutely get it. But the culture is different. So that's all I'm saying. I think it's a great idea. I just think you have to be real buttoned up with those security teams.
I don't even disagree with you.
Yeah.
I don't. Raider Mark, Mexico is hosting the World Cup. I think security won't be an issue.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I don't know that I would compare the two, but I understand what you're saying. I do. I mean, Big Daddy Magic.
Okay, let me.
I haven't even seen this comment yet, and I'm worried about it.
I'm just
see it now. I'll be where your basketball player goes to Mexico, Joe, for stealing donkeys.
Bro, I don't know what you're talking about, but
dude, the funny thing is, listen, man, the edibles, just put them away.
It's only $3.20.
No edibles yet. Raider Mark says hosting with U.S. and Canada. Yeah, I'm here for it. Big 12 basketball to Moscow, Jimmy. Stop.
Dude.
Stop. Tanner says that was just my experience, though. Okay. Spangler, avoiding crime in Mexico isn't that difficult. You just use common sense.
I hope that's true. I've never been to Mexico, so,
Shannon, what's up, Christopher Shannon, says money, money, money.
Yep.
Where do you create more dollars in interest, Mexico or Canada? Mexico.
Yeah.
Mexico. Everything's on fire in Canada right now.
Yeah.
How about those pictures out in New York? Did you guys see the New York pictures yesterday? Bros, these pictures, these are the Canadian wildfire smoke over New York City.
Yeah, bro.
Like, this is wild. Wildin'. It's not unprecedented. I saw a bunch of people like, we've never seen this before.
It's not true.
Every year we see it. But this is wild.
Next level.
Yeah, that's wild, dude. If you are watching in Canada, and I know we have a pretty significant Canadian crowd, I wish you well. I know it's unfortunately, Jake and I have been part of that in the past. So, anyone else getting audio dropping out?
Here we go.
Filling in for somebody.
Kurt Peters says, I once see a donkey show in Tijuana. Some things can't be unseen.
You fucking donkey.
Yeah, Mrs. Monty and I.
Hey, Mrs. Monty.
Way back in the day when you could, walk over the border from U.S. to Mexico in Tijuana, we did. And I drank a whole bunch of water. It was amazing. We didn't. We actually hung out, bought leather goods.
Leather goods.
Yeah, I bought a wallet in Mexico.
There's some wild shit going on right now.
There was. We walked over the
goods.
Dude, there is no doubt. Listen, If you have not been to Tijuana, you're never going because it is a vastly different place than it was in the 90s. But I'm telling you that Mexico was fun. I have vivid memories of being terrified about little children selling me chiclets on the pedestrian bridge.
Right.
I'm not kidding. They're standing there with packets of chiclets, bubblegum. You don't even know what chiclets are. They're gum. And they're selling you packets of chiclets. And there are donkeys pretty much on every corner that you can take pictures with for $5. It was fun, dude. I enjoyed it. Spangler says, I live in Manhattan. I almost died yesterday. Wow. Yeah, it's tough. You look at these images in New York,
gnarly,
dude.
man.
There's nothing funny about this. Like this is you're talking about deadly air quality.
Yeah.
Like deadly air quality. You want to breathe that in? That is Canadian wildfire smoke right there.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in bringing that in. Spangler, be cool out there in Manhattan. I know that that's a big deal. Raider Mark says, side note, Narcos was a great show. It was.
Yeah.
It absolutely was. No doubt about it. Maury Alvarez, the great Floridian. Let's get a couple of polls up on Bacavo versus Deluxe and drums versus flats. Maury?
I agree.
Stop it. Raider Mark says, selling limes, bought some limes. There you go. Bryson Martin, Tijuana is now a war zone, sadly. It really is sad. Because Tijuana just didn't have to be that way. Cougar Tales, Monty, buy the chessboard pieces in Tijuana, the best. Okay. Jeremy Calzone, dude, the calzones at Papa Murphy's are amazing. Drank a bunch of water, that'll fix that colon. Right? Dude, never. Truck Stop Gumby says donkey 2 holes. Wow, Jake, any comment?
Bro. Hugh Janus.
Like, what am I supposed to say
Donkey,
to that,
dude. Why?
Like,
and here's the thing I don't understand. And you guys tell me if I'm wrong about this, and I'm totally fine with it if I'm wrong. Can somebody explain to me the fascination with taking a picture of a small horse that is literally dropping piles of dung at your feet? Like, I don't understand it. Though the donkeys like stand on the corners,
yeah,
chained to posts,
yeah,
crapping and pissing everywhere, and people are like, oh yeah, bro, gotta get a picture, man. Hey, can I get one of them pinjatas to take a picture with donkey 2 holes?
I want it.
And how about one of those Pancho Villa things?
Bro, I thought you said pinjatas.
Yeah, pinjatas to go with your fajitas and quesadillos. Right? Like,
bro,
that's... if you're taking a picture with a donkey, that's a you problem. Whatever else you choose to do behind those curtains with the donkey, hey.
The Tijuana curtain.
Yeah, hey, man, you don't want to know. You don't want to know. You do not want to know. Tom says NYC has better air today, supposedly.
Yeah.
It's going to take a couple of days before that moves off. Do not buy the bacon-wrapped hot dogs, Cougar Tail says. My cousin puked from Tijuana to San Diego in the car. Disgusting.
Waves in opposition.
Come on, man.
No, I'm good.
Bryce Martin, the air quality was already bad enough there. Certainly it was. Spangler, I didn't wear a mask or anything. Came home, took a nap, woke up choking like crazy and couldn't breathe. It sucked. Much better today. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that, Spangler. I am glad to hear that. Let's see. Kurt Peters. Mexico is basically a failed narco state. I have no idea. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know. Spangler also says yesterday wasn't like smog. You could taste the orange in your... Oh, come on, man. You can taste the orange in your mouth.
That's an issue.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Terrible. Truck Stop Gumby, Pancho Villa things. Yeah, you know those little blankets that have a hole and they're a poncho. You put them on, I've seen Starsky and Hutch. I know how this shit works. Big Daddy Magic, donkeys are overrated.
Yeah?
I'm surprised to hear you say
that. Then why do you like Victor?
Boyd Lakes. Oh, wow. Why? It's not a donkey. It's a burro. Oh.
Yeah. Thank you.
Which is different than a churro.
Right. Yeah. It's a burro.
I could be
That's
wrong.
the untrained eye.
Come on. I mean, that is, I've never understood that. People are like, oh, hey, like all these pictures up in Park City and up in the Tetons of these tourists trying to grab baby bison and getting gored by, their massive mother.
Ain't ducking no smoke.
What are you doing? They're animals, dude. They don't give a they want to stick their horn in your rib cage.
Yeah.
So that you won't, like, come on, man. Like, what are we really doing? Dude, Spangler, humans have relied on donkeys for thousands of years. Show some respect.
Damn.
There you go. The eye patch. So the conversation is about donkeys. Well, right now it is because if I have to explain it, you don't get it. Hey, let's go real quick to the Big Ten schedule because I don't understand. So if you didn't see it today, the Big Ten released their 2024-2025 schedule. I don't understand why all conferences don't do this. Because if you look, every team has every schedule, and they have this protected flex schedule thing. And like USC, look at USC's schedule in 2024. And I just say to myself, hey, they're protecting their rivalry games.
Yeah.
And I need to understand why every conference does not do this. Because when I look at these conference schedules, I say to myself, this is exactly what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, again, I'll go back to the best games that we don't see anymore. Like Utah and BYU.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to be like, oh, Max Hall's mom had beer thrown on her. I don't care. What has that got to do with playing the game? That's one of the best rivalries in sports.
Yep.
And it should be played every game. Note what's on the schedule both years for USC. Like 2024, hey, look, there's UCLA.
UCLA.
They're going to play UCLA in 2024 and in 2025.
Yeah.
You've got to do that. You've got to do that. And as you look over the schedule in the Big Ten, and you start to understand like how they built this thing, look at the 2025 conference schedule. And let me put 2024 up there first. My bad. Look at the 2024 schedule. Like, what do you see with, Northwestern playing Illinois every year as they should? Look at Michigan. Where's Michigan? Michigan's playing Ohio State every year as they should.
Yeah.
Like, those are games that should be played every single year. And I don't understand why we get away from that. I don't understand why we are so easy to throw away games like Wisconsin, Nebraska, or games like Michigan, USC, which are massive football games. Those are huge football games. And the other thing I would point out to you is if you look at Ohio State's games, look at Ohio State, second row all the way on the left. Michigan State on the road. Michigan State, Minnesota, Penn State, UCLA. Then you look at home games and they get Michigan, Northwestern, Iowa, Illinois. Like, those are good schedules.
Yeah.
And you look at the away games for, let's say, UCLA, Indiana, Iowa, Michigan, and Rutgers. That's a hell of a travel schedule in 2024. But they get Ohio State at home, They get Nebraska at home. Like, this is, in my opinion, this is really well done. And you look at USC, UCLA ends the season. You look at the games that USC gets at home. They get Michigan, Iowa, Wisconsin, Illinois, quality programs on the way up, going to Los Angeles. This schedule is far better, and I don't understand why more leagues don't do this. And I don't understand why, like, you look at the way that USC released this today, like with this graphic on social media and talking about the schedule, and I think it's brilliant.
Yeah.
I think it's brilliant. And the fact that they're going to have Illinois, Iowa, Michigan, Wisconsin at home, and they've got to go to Maryland, Northwestern, Penn State, like Purdue and UCLA. That's a ball buster schedule to welcome them to the Big Ten, as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
As it should be. I think this is brilliance out of the Big Ten. I think it's exceptionally well done. I love what they did here.
Yeah, and I think it's really beneficial with your TV partners too. You think about how to fulfill TV contracts and really bring that value from the conference side, and that's pretty much what you have. Your best matchups as often as possible, and that's one of the biggest problems for like the Pac-12 as an example, right? Because teams are leaving and you're facing all this adversity, you're going to struggle to put together, big time tier 1 level games on a regular basis. So for the Big Ten, it doesn't surprise me at all. We should get like USC and Notre Dame as an example all the time, like twice a year, every single year, like USC and UCLA, like, all those matchups we just went through. We should be getting those as football fans and as TV partners every single year.
And one of the things that really worries me, like as we talk about this Colorado story today, if Colorado jumps to the Big 12 and Utah doesn't, we're going to lose the Colorado-Utah game. So not only is Utah not going to wind up playing BYU, but they're also not going to play Colorado, which I think I could argue, because they're in the same conference, is just as important of a game on a conference level as BYU is on a local non-con level. Mm-hmm. And to lose, for Utah to lose 2 games like BYU and Colorado, should Colorado ultimately wind up in the Big 12, I think would be an incredible injustice to Utah Ute fans.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's really important that USC and UCLA acted together. And I go back to this story yesterday on Arizona and Arizona State. And I know everybody says, well, hey, you're completely wrong. They can act, autonomously. I am telling you now, it's not a matter of permission, as I tweeted about this. Arizona and Arizona State need to play every single year. That's a rivalry. The Territorial Cup is what it's called, for those of you who don't know. Mm-hmm. The Territorial Cup is a rivalry that matters from Tucson up to Phoenix. Like, that matters, and we're losing that because of all of this expansion in college athletics. And I think it's really bad for college sports. Yeah. I think it's terrible for college sports. So I'm of the mind, again, I think, quite possibly, I think, Colorado ends up in the Big 12. Mm-hmm. And I just will go back and say what I've said from day one. If Colorado goes to the Big 12, this has gigantic repercussions on the entire conference. And a lot of people are like, well, if they just lose Colorado, if the Pac-12 just loses Colorado, it's not some small thing that, we can easily replace them. Because you're not replacing Colorado with San Diego State or Tulane or SMU or anybody else you want to throw into that slot. Colorado is an important rival for Utah. Colorado is an important educational partner. Like, that's a big loss.
Yeah.
And I don't know that this conference can sustain one, because I think if you lose one, you're going to lose 4 more. I think if you lose one, you're going to lose half the conference. And I think that's why it is so vitally important that Colorado not act on its own. I think if one team leaves, it ratchets up the rest, the pressure on the rest of the teams in the conference. And I just think the last thing that the Pac-12 needs right now is for a university like Colorado to act on its own, which I, again, don't believe will happen. I have not heard that.
Yeah, and I think, a lot of people are like, oh, well, how is Colorado so relevant just by adding Prime or just by changing the culture? And it's like, well, adding Prime did a lot for them. I mean, again, when you look at relevancy, he's added so much attention and just credence to what they're trying to do. Now, again, we've talked all about how if he goes 1-11 this year, that's going to change that, obviously. And there's going to be the conversation is going to change a lot. But again, it all comes back to this idea that Colorado understands there's an opportunity for them to look shredded like Buddy does in the picture, right? And get to the Big 12.
Like Buddy does in the picture.
And take a few teams with them. Because I have always been a believer that if you're going to move conferences, you're not doing that alone. Nobody moves conferences alone.
But am I also the only one that, I feel like I am a man on an island every time we talk about Colorado? I believe most people think Colorado sucks. Nobody cares. Do you really think they're changing their entry threshold so that they lose more games? Or that they're changing their like, and for those of you who don't know, Colorado recently changed the standards to allow more athletes to come to Colorado. It's the only reason Deion Sanders agreed to take the job. Do you really think they're doing that to win the same number of games that they have in the last decade? They're absolutely not.
Yeah.
They're going to win football games. Maybe not this year. I think their max is 3, but that's just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But Colorado is going to be a 7, 8, 9, 10 win team in the next 3 years. Their basketball program is going to get exponentially better.
Yeah.
The softball in that league in the Pac-12 is already really good. But the other thing I would say about breaking up the Pac-12 and everybody running to break up the Pac-12, one, I would slow your roll on that. But two, don't throw away the Apple Cup, Washington State. Don't throw away the Territorial Cup, Arizona State, the Civil War, Oregon State. One of the best rivalries in sports, Oregon State. That'd be like Michigan and Ohio State not playing anymore. And we already have seen that with BYU and Utah. And it's a tragedy. There are generations in the state of Utah who grew up on BYU and Utah.
Yep.
Generations grew up on that red and blue rivalry.
Facts.
Now there are generations who may well never see that game played again.
Yeah.
And I think it's a great tragedy.
Yeah.
It is, and I hope that's not what happens. I hope that's not, because, again, I look at Bedlam. Bedlam's dead. Bedlam's dead. How is Oklahoma and Oklahoma State going to play again? How's that going to happen? Like Oklahoma, Texas, great. That's cool. Oklahoma, Texas is not Oklahoma State.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. There's no spinning that.
Yeah.
There is no spinning that.
Yeah, and I think in expansion, there's a lot of times where the viewer, is the one that pays the price because, you do lose these big rivalries. And I do think that, again, this kind of takes me right back to the conversations we've been having around the SEC and 9 games instead of 8 games and, quality of game versus trying to win a national championship. Like, again, I just think this is what we do. We overthink it. Like, hey, let's play rivalry games every single year, and let's do everything we can do to get to the college football playoff. It's just that simple. But we don't want to do that. We're more concerned with expansion and moving conferences.
And it's frustrating to me because I think things like, and listen, Oklahoma, I think Bedlam is mandatory. It's Notre Dame and Michigan not playing anymore.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. How is Notre Dame and Michigan? We have to, in college athletics, protect the rivalries.
Yeah.
With all due respect, again, to the Red River shootout / showdown, whatever you want to call it. That game's good. Oklahoma State is mandatory. It's life, man. It's like not playing Auburn, Alabama.
Yeah.
How? It's not playing Georgia, Florida. How? How is that? Like, why do we not get Florida State every single year?
Mm-hmm.
How do we not, it's mandatory, but we don't care anymore.
But we'll get, Duke, UNC in basketball 50 times a season.
Yeah,
we'll get worn out on that.
Gary says false. BYU and Utah will happen in 2026 onwards. It's on U's future schedule page. Hey, that's great. But until that game is cemented and it's played every year,
yeah,
I think that game is in great jeopardy. With BYU being in the Big 12, and it's the excuse that all Utah fans used to make. Well, I mean, we just can't have that game. We can't play that game in November. I mean, we have bigger fish to fry. Well, guess what? Utah, BYU now has bigger than your fish to fry.
Kiss my butt!
Right? That should be, and I understand a lot of people like it in November far more than they like it in September. But the game has to be played. It has to be played. And it's a rivalry game. You should absolutely, in my opinion, if you want to be safe, you got to play that game in September. Because a loss in September is very different than a loss in November. Very, very different.
Yeah.
And I think we all recognize that. It's just not, it's not one of those things where, we can, I'm just not willing to do that. Like I think it's one of those games where Utah's had the run of that rivalry for over a decade. Like, I think they won 37 straight. No, it was 50 or 90. Something like
reset.
Hundreds of straight games in football.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It's BYU and Utah.
Yeah.
It's what I say about Bedlam. It doesn't matter. It's Oklahoma and Oklahoma State.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if the two teams are bad.
Everybody wants it.
This is Pitt, West Virginia.
It's Pitt, West Virginia. I need it every single year.
Yeah.
How many years did Ohio State roll Michigan?
Yeah.
But we got it every single year.
Yes.
This would be like SC and Notre Dame not playing anymore. You can't do that. You can't eliminate that game.
Yeah.
Right? Like USC and UCLA, one of the worst fan bases as far as passion, and we got to have it every single year. We have to protect the rivalries. It doesn't matter to me that Utah ran BYU for a decade. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Did you forget about basketball? Because basketball, go to Utah for BYU and Utah basketball. Go for soccer. Go for baseball. Go for softball. UVU, getting into it now. Like I'm telling you, the locals, the brothers, right? Like the thing that makes it great is Max Hall's mom. Who cares if the beer story's true? It's true.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's true? Because it's true.
Agreed.
How many great stories are there in the Civil War and the Apple Cup? How many? There are tons of them. Oh, well, let me go ahead and get this. I understand it's Michigan, Ohio State, but I got to have the Wings on one side and the Buckeye on the other side. Like, right? Those people should be in prison. If you wear half Utah and half BYU or half Ohio State, it is soft person tendency. Half Ohio State, half Michigan, half Oklahoma State. I believe that you should be in prison in hard labor.
Yeah.
Like you just get that's
how dare you?
That's a crime against humanity for Auburn and Alabama.
You're a douche.
But we need those games.
Yeah.
We need those games, man. Like it's got to happen. Let's see. Borlawn Angel, Big Ten releases their schedule for 24-25 at this present time. Tells me there will be no other invites at this time, aka no additions right now. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. One of the things I said today is I'm not going to get involved in Oregon and Washington, Stanford and Cal with the Big Ten. Because do you know how easy it is to change those schedules?
Yeah. It's incredibly easy.
It's not very difficult.
Yeah.
It's not very difficult. It isn't. Let's see. John Bolster. Forced rivalries rarely work. 12 going to try to force UCF, Houston, Cincy, West Virginia rivalry. Yeah, maybe.
What are you talking about, dude?
I don't know that I would say that that's a... I mean, you guys. Forced rivalries, with all due respect, Cincinnati and West Virginia. Rivalry.
Cincinnati.
Come on now. BYU and Utah, Oklahoma State.
Heat.
That's what I'm talking about. I just... Yeah, Travis, I agree. Until last year, West Virginia Pitt was lost, and it was a great game.
Yes.
It's a great game. Kurt Peters says, as a Colorado alum, I never looked at Utah as a rivalry, not hating on Utah, but it was manufactured. I don't think it's manufactured. Colorado has done its fair share of damage, in my opinion. Raider Mark, I think the drive to make the college football playoff and being afraid to lose to a rival keeps the school from continuing rivalry games. Oh, I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any doubt about that.
That's why
dude.
Arizona State won't play GCU.
I think that's exactly right. I think that's exactly right. And Raider Mark, where you are, pew pew. I think you know all about it. I think you're exactly right. Gary says I miss beating BYU because he's a Utah fan. Stopping Kalani on the going for it on fourth down. You missed that.
Right.
You missed that. Spangler says Farmageddon is perhaps the greatest rivalry name ever created. Okay. But what are other rivals? Like Cal Stanford, nobody cares.
Nobody cares, dude.
Iowa State.
I'm sure folks that live there care, but I don't care.
SLC Jake on Twitter. Please attack him. Do not attack me. Please.
I'm going to say this again.
Iowa State fans are awfully, like, their finger is on the button. They're like,
Stop disrespecting me, bro.
What did he say? Like, their finger is on the button. SLC Jake on Twitter. That guy over there.
Y'all about to fuck this up.
That guy over there. Monty owes a ribeye says Jake is a Ute fan, at least in softball. Maybe not. Jimmy says Pitt, West Virginia splits Pittsburgh. OSU splits Portland. CU Utah just put together because they came to the league together. Could be.
This is corny stuff.
Could be. The big Lubbock. OU and Nebraska went away. Yes, it did. Oh, my God. How do you not miss Barry Switzer?
Yeah, but Nebraska's back, right? I mean, Nebraska's going to be a great program.
Here we go.
Obviously not.
Oh, yeah. Matt Rule. Look, Matt Rule. We all know you love Matt Rule, Monty. Look, Monty. We get it. Matt Rule is hung like
a donkey.
He's hung. Listen, that bro has a giraffe snout like you can't.
Can you measure it?
Giraffes don't have snout, but
yeah, it's a long neck.
Listen, well, that's what she said. I'm not going to describe it that way, but you know. Why you hate Matt Rule so much? Because I said he's going to be good and Deion's going to win 3 games. You're like, garbage. Listen, Deion, you can't comb Matt Rule's chest hair.
Yeah, come on.
Deion Sanders, I can run my fingers through his. Look at that lettuce on his pecs.
Maybe your mom didn't go to heaven.
Oh dear.
Oh dear. Oh my.
One time on this show, I said Matt Rule is going to turn that program around. Going, what do you mean Deion Sanders is great?
It became personal with me.
You love you some Prime, don't you? You love you some Prime, bro.
Uh-huh.
You love it. Stutters saying Nebraska is back is just the same as Sacramento's back. We can believe it when we see it.
Hey, what is it?
Beam team!
Yeah, beam team!
Omaha!
Yeah!
Omaha!
You and your mom are hillbillies.
Beam team!
Bro!
Matt Rule, light the beam, brother!
Oh,
Boom!
Light the beam!
You fucking donkey.
Oh my God, that's amazing. Kyle J. My favorite rivalry is BYU versus Built Bar. Wow, bro.
No.
But do you guys at least get into the spirit of college rivalries? Don't we need to protect college rivalries? And I don't.
Absolutely.
There's no question about it. I think you have to have Alabama Auburn.
Yeah.
And I agree with. I'm not certainly trying to make the argument that Colorado Utah is one of the great rivalries. It's not. My point is, and I originally brought it up because Utah has found it very. Let's put it this way. Utah and BYU have found it very difficult to put their names on each other's schedules.
Cow turd.
I don't know. But Colorado is a game of consequence. On Utah's, okay.
I mean, I agree there's heat between the two, but it's not. Yeah. Colorado or Utah's won every year for how long? I mean,
yeah.
You know, and again, I guess the difference is that Utah BYU is just such a personal thing. People are just such a-holes about it.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see. I think it's really important to protect the rivalries. Barfing Chicken's my guy. My favorite is BYU QBs versus season-ending injuries in the Utah State game. Hey, bro, we won the wagon wheel. Now, I mean, Taysom's only got one ankle, but fuck, man, we won. Excuse me. My bad. Honor code violation. Self-reporting over here. Listen, we won the wagon wheel. Taysom's only got one ankle, but we won the wagon wheel.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Damn.
Truck Stop Gumby says cow turd.
That's right.
Jeremy Calzone says, in an ideal world, Okie State would forget all about Sooners as a rival. It was fairly once. Well, yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, come on. Oklahoma dominated that series. and accept their real true rival who has pissed in their picnic basket many times, Iowa State. Pissed in their picnic
So
basket.
we've graduated from pissing in bottles to now pissing in lunch baskets.
Here in the truck stop conference. We like to
Hey,
picnic.
we went to a Flying J today.
We did. Fucking ass. Do you ever just wake up some days and it's like, nah, dude, just go back to, don't get out of bed. Just go back to bed. Just go back to bed. Right? Just dealing with some stuff, going through like this week has been that week where the Zen factor has been the Zen meter has been off its axis.
Yes.
So we were talking through a business thing this morning. We were driving up to Ogden and
chilling in the Grand Cherokee.
And then ding, the gas light goes on. Now, of course, we have zero time to get gas because we're meeting our good friend Amber, the baketress, this morning.
It's really despicable.
And so we pull into the Flying J off of Redwood Road.
And it was great. Great location. Everything's cool.
Whew, thank goodness we're in the truck stop conference.
Yep.
Pull in, pull up to the pump. Hello. Pull in, pull up to the pump, put the card in, card reader's broken.
That's what fucking ticks me the fuck off!
And I tried it like 37 times.
It makes me a loving father and a decent human being.
No, I was not a decent human being. This only after I got off the phone with my insurance company and the lady's like, hey, can I have your phone number? What's your VIN number? I'm like, I don't know my VIN number. Well, I'm going to need your VIN number.
Suckmyass.com.
And she's like, what's your email? I tell her my email. Can you spell that? And I was like, come on! That's where I lost it when she's like, hey, can you spell your email?
Here's the problem. Here's
and I even said to her, I'm not in the greatest of moods.
I try to stay calm and not curse.
And I'm a little short on patience.
He did literally say that. The problem is that you're looking for windshield repair, right? And so when you're looking for windshield repair, you get sent out to SafeFlight through your insurance.
And I will never know.
So SafeFlight doesn't have all your insurance information, so you got to fill out a flyer. And my guy here was not in the mood.
And then the card reader at the truck stop didn't work. It's fine. Spangler, why exactly Utah State ignored in all this talk? Well, because we only talk about major college football on this show.
Dude.
What?
Why would you do that?
What? Aggie tears. What do you mean?
Dude.
Utah State is... look, I get it.
It is what it is.
But it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It is what it is. They just are what they are, and they're not who they're not, and that they're not nothing and stuff. They're just not.
When you ask them that question, you may get a very unusual answer.
Severe says Aggie Tears versus Weber State. Boy, Weber State without Jay Hill. Good luck. Truck Stop Gumby says self-reporting. You're a snitch.
Yeah, seriously.
Exactly. All right, let's come back and reset the Colorado situation after we remind you of the greatness that is Papa Murphy's Calzone.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do calzones.
Papa Murphy's does calzones?
Oh, I think you mean I do the calzones.
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with fresh ingredients and hand-shredded cheese tucked in a scratch-made dough.
That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
You don't forget the calzones.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
And I don't, listen, as somebody that is as good looking as I am, it's one of those things where information matters. And you don't need to ask me to spell my email address. Anyway, hi, how are you?
Okay, that's enough. Stop, please.
I felt she wasn't a bad person, the insurance lady on the phone. You're an insurance lady, which means you're a bad person. Anyway, the point is, get the calzones on the Papa Murphy's mobile app. Use the promo code Monty25 to save 25% off your purchase at $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. It is amazing how good the calzones are. Amazing. Truck Stop Gumby says, sounds like Monty needs a hug.
Mm-hmm.
It was like a 20-minute period of huggedness.
Yeah.
You know, like you're just trying to get... Car insurance is such a scam. 90 minutes from right now, we'll talk about it. It is, car insurance is such a scam. Such a scam. JW, what's up, Jay? BYU Utah rivalry is actually is an actual rivalry when they both play in the same conference. But I think it's more than that. I think it's not about. You really think the conference affiliation has to be there?
No,
because I don't. I don't care. Again, Oklahoma State. I want it every year. I don't care what conference.
Yes,
I don't care.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I really don't. Tom says, safe like you can do online in 5 minutes. Give me your policy number and you'll be scheduled in 2 minutes. Come on, Monty. Well, the problem is in Phoenix, SafeLight put the wrong windshield on my Fiat. I had a Fiat Abarth. And they came to the crappy radio station. You probably don't even remember that. Do you remember this?
Vaguely, yes.
SafeLight came to the radio station I worked at in Phoenix. And I had a Fiat Abarth. And it's a basic-ass windshield. It's not got any technology in it. They put the wrong windshield on there. And I go out, and the guy's like, hey, man, we're done with your car. Ready to go. Go out there, and it's clearly the wrong shape of windshield. Like, it's... All I remember is the top right corner of the windshield was like, you could see he had chipped it off because it didn't fit in the slots. And I said to the guy, hey, what? And he's like, what? That's what it's supposed to look like. Dude, so I have a little SafeLight trauma.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Yeah.
You know. We had some windshield issues in Phoenix. It was not good. Stutterer says, we can talk about Utah State the week they play BYU. Exactly. Exactly right. Cowboy Country says, guys, when I used to usher games at Boone Pickens Stadium, may he rest in power. I would go home and watch Utah State games. I always found them to be competitive and exciting. Cowboy Country, you gotta learn to golf or something. I'm not saying Utah State's a bad program. They've just never been a good program. Never.
Program.
Like, it's not.
Yeah.
They had a run with Matt Anderson, but Matt Anderson? Why can't I think of his name? That went right at not what anyway, the point is they had
Blake
some time.
Anderson.
But Blake Anderson, thank you. And then it's a lot. It's Utah State. Jeremy Calzone says, ain't no reset.
Ain't no reset.
Exactly right. Nate Davis says, I love to have those games again, and those games are really good history with my family. My family is BYU fans. The other half is U of U. It would have been the game would be greater than ever. I think it would. Maury Albers, I love living in Florida where insurance is required to cover the full cost, even if you need a full windshield replacement. Yeah, they don't do that here in my state. It's great news. It just is what it is. I think it's almost better when the conference affiliation is not there. Okay. I mean, I think... like if I said to you, all right, Pittsburgh Technical Institute of Culinary Arts is taking on Coastal Carolina. Great rivalry on our hands tonight, friends.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, dude. No, dude. No. That's not a rivalry. And I would agree, that's not a rivalry.
Yeah.
Nor should it be. So, it is what it is. Bryce Martin says Oklahoma State should form a big rivalry with TCU and Tech and call it the Blue River Rivalry. Oklahoma State,
okay.
TCU, and Texas Tech.
See what he did there?
The Blue... I did. Kurt Peters, instance is legal gambling. I'll bet you $200 this month I'll get in an accident. I don't know.
Insurance is legal
Oh,
gambling.
insurance is legal. Insurance is a scam.
Yeah, dude.
Because 90 minutes. We'll talk about it in non-sports stories. Anna Pavelko, Nick Saban likes chicken. Okay,
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
I love chicken. Travis says West Virginia hates Pitt. Same conference or not.
Facts.
Exactly right.
Facts.
Exactly right. J-Dub, I don't see a true rivalry between a G5 and a P5. Depends on who it is. Stutter says BYU Utah is worth everything.
Yep.
It absolutely is. It is. Renee Roca, I rarely watch Oklahoma Okie State. It's a guaranteed win for Oklahoma? Okie Light. So like Oklahoma and then Okie Light.
Come on.
Oklahoma Light.
Kiss my butt!
All right, the official beer of the Cowboys, Natty Light, Keystone Extra Dark. No. Worst beer in the history. What's the worst beer ever?
PBR.
No, PBR is not bad. It's not good. It's not bad. Have you ever had a PBR?
Once.
I give up. No college rivals had their great-grandfathers literally try to kill each other over other than Kansas, Missouri, and college realignment ended that, which is really unfortunate. You know, Truck Stop Gumby says, should have got a Subi.
Well.
Matt Wells, thank you. Matt Wells. Could not think of Matt Wells' name. It went right out of my head. That's what it... See, I was combining Matt Anderson, Matt Wells, and Gary Anderson. Gary Anderson should have never left Utah State. Never. OG Gary says program in Utah State common now. Legitimate question for Utah fans. Is Utah State a relevant football program in the state of Utah?
Yeah.
No,
but not at Utah's level.
Not at BYU's level.
No. But that doesn't mean they're not relevant. They're a relevant program in the state. Like, they're around. They're there.
Don't you go to Utah State if you... I mean, it's... Honest to God, it's junior college. Level of... Like, they're not...
It is what it is.
They can beat you at home, but they're rarely talented enough to hang with legitimate Power 5 teams.
Yeah.
They're just not talented enough.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't even know how you... Yeah. David Bradham, what's up, David? I've lived in Florida. I'll take a little less insurance not to be there. Well...
Dude. Telling you, bro, Florida's a problem.
Florida's not a problem. Some parts of... Okay. Spangler, Jordan Love, the greatest player in Utah State history. Exactly. Exactly right. Nick Saban loves the Bacavo, Maury
Damn
Alvarez
right
says.
he does. That's right.
Jeremy Calzone says Keystone, LMAO. Keystone. Jeremy Calzone says PBR is good stuff, thank you. Schaefer Light? What the hell is Schaefer Light? Truck Stop says PBR is mid. J.K. Marshall says Black Label. Scott of Greywater says Busch Light is the worst beer ever. Calzone says Grain Belt. I haven't even heard of two
Bro,
of those.
what is Grain Belt?
You know, it's fine. Jimmy says Milwaukee's best. Oh, Al Bundy. Yes, Old Style is just urine. Zima is the worst beer of all time, Mike Maples. Yes, it is. Oh, Milwaukee's best is not the worst. It's not good. It's not the worst. You guys, Old Style.
Nah, I'm fine. I'm completely fine.
Gumby says regular Coors. You mean like Coors Banquet? Ugh. Coors Light now. Now we talking.
Yeah.
I can drink some. I'm telling you, you hand me a Mick Ultra or a Bud Light, I'll drink it all day long.
But you're not a big beer guy, and I'm not a big beer guy either overall.
Beer makes you fat. It quite literally is engineered to make you fat.
Yeah, it's kind of this thing where, like, I feel like you either like to drink it socially or you're just not at all into it.
Yeah.
You know, like...
Beer is a thing. The eye patch says beer is for the ladies. Wild Turkey.
Yeah, whiskey guy.
Okay. OG Gary says, yeah, 2 holes. Are we going to get Kona on Saturday?
Yeah, 2 holes.
You going to drink some Kona on Saturday?
Hey, Gare Bear. Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Kurt Peters says, Keith Stone's worst beer I drank a lot of in high school. Old Style was routinely the worst beer I had in high school, always.
Dude.
Oh, and it was awful.
Like, just terrible.
I shouldn't even... What am I talking about?
Because it's garbage.
When I became 21 years old and I could legally consume alcohol, because I would never consume alcohol before I was 21. I mean,
21.
Who would do that? I was a vodka drinker. So...
Same.
You know, J-Dub. So rivalries that have conference championship implications are meaningless, Monty? No, I never said that.
Who said that, dude?
that just makes it even more betters.
More betters.
So but are you telling me that BYU and Utah are well, they're not in a conference. That's not a good rivalry.
Dude, there is heat, bro.
Dude, come on. Come on now.
I mean, I'm not sure that there's a better recipe for a rivalry than two teams, same state, one's independent, one's P5, one tried to join the conference with the P5, and the P5 said, hell no, get the hell out of here, and you play each other all the time. What more do you need?
Yeah, that seriously. C. Kaufman says, I like scotch. Renee Roca, wild turkey is for poor college boys.
You're not wrong, brother.
Wild turkey is for poor college boys.
You're not wrong.
Oh my! Wait. Wild turkey is for poor college boys. If you ain't got no Jameson, you are poor.
Dude, y'all are crazy out here.
That's one of the best comments of the day, and they had nothing to do with BYU. And and drunks. Wild turkey is for poor college boys and drunks.
Okay.
That's fine. Speaking of poor college boys and drunks, Darren Ingram from Canyons Golf is here.
Hey, now.
I'm not the one that showed up when you showed up. That just happened, Darren. Boy, you were looking
be a drunk, but not a poor college boy. I mean, come on.
Well,
that's just a couple of years ago.
We were talking about the worst beer ever a minute ago.
Worst? I mean, and this is not politics. Like, there's nothing of that. But like, I've always hated Bud Light. Bud Light is terrible. Like anyone that says it's not. Now, Bud Heavy out of a bottle is good.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to have it out of a bottle, not a tap, not a Bud Heavy out of a bottle that has a different taste. There's something about the glass. I don't know. But Bud Light, no. Give me a Coors Light all day if we want water on the golf course, you know. But,
well, we can't contribute. No, we're not doing the beer. No, because we did that the other day with the. You needed to show up here the other day when we were talking about using water bottles while deployed, and not going out anyway. How did you why do you do this, Darren? Okay. So the other day we were talking about long car rides and not wanting to stop to go to the bathroom. And our military folks were like, well, I had a guy who bunked with us and he had like 20 water bottles, a liter and a half under his bunk. And he never cleaned it out. He just left it. See?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, that is not a deployment thing. That's like a degenerate thing. That's
exactly right.
We can all get out and walk 15 feet. Like that's like a.
That's what I said. That's what. But you're a military man. You know, sometimes there are situations where there's never a call for a liter and a half under bed. No. Anyway, Canyons Golf.
Yeah.
The course is beautiful, man. Like I we tell people about our golf all the time. The course is beautiful. You guys, I mean, you guys have really worked hard to get that course in shape. How are things for you guys?
I mean, so good right now, other than we're operating out of the cart barn, but that's neither here nor there. That'll change shortly. But yeah, I mean, the upper holes were under a glacier 3 weeks ago, and the course has just come out phenomenal. My grounds crew has murdered it. Looks great. There's areas in the rough, but I mean, put us up against any public course in the state, and we're coming out on top already. They may not even be able to meet us mid-season. Our greens are phenomenal. Fairways are great. It's the best deal out there right now. I just dropped our rates, try to get a little people from the Valley out here. I know some people were turned off the first few years it was open. The conditions were a little difficult. It played hard. It wasn't soft. You couldn't get a ball to hold. And all of that is completely different now. I haven't had a person in 2 years walk off the course talking shit about the golf course.
Exactly.
So most people get on the golf course, they come off and they might be frustrated with the way they played, but they don't ever blame it on the golf course, right?
No.
I couldn't be happier with where we're at right now. And we did, like I said, we just dropped our rates down to $65 through the rest of June.
Wow.
That's right on par with all of the city courses. And you're getting a hell of a lot better manicured golf course and better experience. We don't have 300 people on the course at one time. So it's a lot more enjoyable, and it's the best views that you're going to find at a golf course in Utah. Highest elevated golf course in Utah, tons of drops if you haven't been out there. It's a blast. It's a blast. It really is.
You said the words public course. You guys don't feel like a public course. It's funny. That had never dawned on me. But you very much have a private course feel because everything is so lush and so green, and the greens are amazing. And the course is. I just think the course is one of the most enjoyable courses to play. And I think we've played a ton of golf this year already. And it is easily. There's not even a comparison. Canyons is the best course we've seen. And I think one of the things that's so interesting is the way you guys handle things, Darren. Like the cart setup alone. I think you might have the most accurate GPS, because we played a course in Utah County this week that the GPS was off by a lot. Like it was not close. And I know you guys must take pride in that stuff.
Yeah, of course. The struggle here that I run into every year is Canyons, the area is always under constant development, right? So every year it's, where are we going to have our golf shop? Where are we going to have the parking? How is the arrival experience? And we can't make the arrival experience up to par, up to where I want it to be. And I know that, and we know that, and we know we're in service recovery mode, especially if someone's coming for the first time. So the staff is there. They're ready to greet you. They're ready to let you know how to get to the first hole, where to check in. And our carts are as good as it gets, upgraded seats, GPS. We want to make sure that every aspect from the time you close that car door is going to be first rate, right? And that's what we try to do. But once you get on the golf course and you hit those first few holes, as long as you're not in the shit, you're going to enjoy it, right?
Why are you making it personal, man? So some of us don't drive accurately.
I didn't say anything about you. I just said general.
I'll say I played there on Sunday, and I hit the 100-yard stick on the first tee. So,
did it stay like anywhere near the 100-yard stick, or did that go out of bounds?
No, it did. It stayed right there. The problem is the second shot didn't stay because it was a terrible second shot that I pulled left. So I wasted the drive and then wound up parring the hole. But, it was fun.
Par's a par, man. I mean, that's good.
And it was cool. The other thing I love about the course is Darren Ingram, I don't know, what's your exact title? I always call you the pro. What's your exact title at Canyons Golf?
I mean, I am, I guess. I'm the director of the GM. So I kind of run it like I own it.
Kind of a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, people know me. Actually,
exactly.
But no, I'm also the golf professional there. I'm also the head golf professional, the instructor.
Yep.
All the hats. But I don't do a lot of teaching just because it does take a lot to run the golf course. So, but I am available for it. So.
Yeah, and you're a phenomenal. Yeah. You've helped me a lot. But the other thing I think is cool, Darren, is I've seen moose, I've seen deer, I've seen like the wildlife. Just you're in the mountains. You're playing golf in the mountains. And I know you talked about the drops and stuff, but I just think the scenery, you can see all the way out to Heber. You can see all the way into the valley. Like the scenery and the view and being with wildlife. And again, this deal. So you said $65 during the week at Canyon.
No, just weekends as well. All the way
all across the board.
Yep.
That's
across
insanity.
Yeah. So no reason to make the extra 10, 15 minutes from, some of our partnering golf courses, or maybe not partnering, but other courses in the area.
But what did I tell you the first time I played there this year, Darren? The drive is meaningless.
Yeah.
Because the course is so good. I'm not even shining you. The drive is, I live in South Jordan, and I think most people know this. I live in South Jordan. And it's 35 minutes to get there. I have great courses around me that are 10-minute drives. I'm driving the extra distance because of the view, the people, your staff. The people like you talked about, the young lady that greeted us the other day, the guy that kicks you off at the first tee, like the whole thing. It's just it's a private club experience I can't believe it's $65 for the rest of the month. It's a private club experience for $65. That's unheard of.
Yeah. And we just want to get everyone back out here to experience it. Right. That's why. Because it is awesome. It is awesome.
Well,
just
by the way,
driver on every hole where you're not going to enjoy it very much.
And I appreciate the ice machine because you guys give us ice to keep my bucked up cold.
There you go.
Yeah. Darren's got hey, let's go. Look at that. Darren with the bucked up cup.
Let's go.
But they give the cart, literally, if you're a golf person, you will understand this. The cart matters. It absolutely matters. Your carts are comfortable. The driving the cart at Canyons is unlike something you need to do it. Just driving the cart at your course is amazing. But to have the cooler and all the stuff, the GPS makes a huge difference. The electronic scorecard, if you want to use it, makes a huge difference. Generally, the score doesn't go up high enough for me to use the electric scorecard, but I'm kidding. I actually played really well. I think I shot an 89 last time.
One of your best rounds.
Yeah. The 13th. Did you see? I don't know if you saw the highlight we put together on your 13th. Jake knocked it within 15 feet, so of course I put it within 10 off the tee over the lake. I think it's the 13th, right? The lake hole, the island kind of hole.
Yeah, the par 3 right there. Yeah.
And do you know who Steve Cook is? The fitness guy, Steve Cook.
No.
Fitness influencer. He's a big deal. Steve Cook is a big deal. He was playing with us on the 13th hole. Like famous people play your course all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
Yeah.
It was last year was Malik Beasley's favorite place. He was here like 3 or 4 times a week.
I love it.
There you go.
It was hilarious.
I'm telling you, man, it's awesome. So we're going to see you at RSL on Saturday. You're coming out to join us, right?
Hell yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Yeah. How can you not, right? Like I appreciate you.
With a good time.
Yeah, it's going to be a great time.
Yeah.
It's going to be a great time. We're going to hang out and watch some RSL, NYFC, and all that kind of good stuff. Darren will be there. We'll all be there. We'll have T-shirts. You
Zag Club.
In the Zag Club. Wait till you see the T-shirt. Wait till you see I am bicycle kicking a real life me. We did a whole photo shoot and stuff. It really happened. I swear I overhead kicked a soccer ball. It was amazing. In real life, that's a lie. But in real life, I kicked it.
Are you forcing me to wear that shirt?
No, you don't. It's an amazing shirt, though. What do you mean? You like Darren? For those who don't know, Darren was calling my phone, begging me for one of our shirts. He said, "I have to have you bicycle kicking this ball." I
was.
Yeah, I'm sure you weren't. Anyway, always good to see you. Always good to see you, my man. We'll see you Saturday. We're actually playing up there this weekend as well, so I'm sure we'll see you around. Good to see you. Thanks for hopping on the show, dude.
Yeah, great seeing you guys. Absolutely. Thank you.
You bet. There you go. Darren Ingram, the dude up at Canyons Golf. That is, I'm telling you guys.
Yeah.
$65.
It's insane. Absolutely insane.
It's a $65. It is a private course experience.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
where's the golfing contingent in the comments?
Yeah, because it
who wants
is.
to play? Let's go.
I'm telling you, the level of service that you get from Darren and his staff it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. The service that you get, that alone, and then the view, and you get 2 holes I think it's
the 10th and the 18th.
Yep. It's the 18th. It's the last hole where you are up hundreds
now, of course,
feet
you got
on
to play the
10.
Blacks.
Yeah, that was the other thing. We played with a couple of dudes over the weekend, and they're like, "Hey, man, we're gonna play the Blues." We're like, "All right, man,
Ain't happening, bro.
We'll be back here where the real men lift. Okay, we'll be over here lifting weights. You guys go ahead."
Now, don't mind the fact that I sliced my ball to Jamaica off the Black Tees. We're not going to talk about that. But I play the Blacks.
The 10th at Canyons on Saturday morning, I think it was Saturday or Sunday. I hit the best drive I've ever hit at that course.
In the fairway.
Into the second fairway, probably 110 yards to the hole. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Again, what do I always say? My second shot kills me. I shanked my second. Well, I didn't shank it. I left it short. So I had to chip up onto the green. But the drive off of that, you know that feeling and that sound when you hit a drive right? And it's like, toom, dude, it was amazing. It was amazing.
Yes.
Truck Stop Gumby says it's sad because I don't play golf, nor do I live in Utah. Well, you should.
Well, come on and play, dude.
You should.
Yeah.
Brady Cook.
Yeah.
A golf guy. That's a good deal. Yes,
Brady,
it is a good deal. Yes, it is a good deal. Absolutely, it is a good deal. Canyons Golf, the official golf course of the Monty Show. I appreciate everybody who's asked about it. I appreciate guys like Dalen Sproul coming out and playing. I know a bunch of our guys have been up there, so we appreciate that. Make sure you say hello to Darren. Tell him you heard about it on the Monty Show. That always makes a big difference for us. Anna says Papa Murphy's is awesome. Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is. It
Bomb.
always is. It is amazing. Speaking of which, this hour of the show presented, as always, by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com. The best injury attorneys, that was a great save.
Yes,
the best injury attorneys in the business, The Advocates.
I was involved in a hit and run accident. My chiropractor recommended me to the Advocates. They completely took care of everything. Now that my case has been settled, I feel like I can go back to my normal life, all thanks to the Advocates.
Yep, and that's exactly what the Advocates do for you. They allow you to get back to the best version of yourself, and you never come out of pocket to work with the Advocates because you don't pay the Advocates unless and until they win your case. Chat with an attorney live online 24/7, 365 at theadvocates.com, UtahAdvocates.com. They are just really good people to do business with. Travis says, CU will leave the cheese and wine Pac-12. I think it's interesting. It certainly is our biggest story in sports today here on the Monty Show. Colorado canceled, the Board of Regents at Colorado canceled their meeting that was set for tomorrow. That was originally described as a brief meeting. I do not believe, from what we've heard and seen and, connected the dots on people we've spoken to, I don't believe that this was business related to them leaving the conference. I don't. Could it be expansion business? Maybe, but I don't believe that any of the 10 members of the Pac-12 are ready to bolt right now. I think, again, they've given George Kliavkoff a timeline and an expectation. And if he meets that timeline, I think they will all stay together. And I think if he comes in, and I've been told the number's $25 million, if the TV deal comes in at $25 million or less, I think Colorado, Arizona, and I do think Arizona and Arizona State will leave together. I think Colorado, Arizona State, Arizona, and Utah will leave. I think Utah is, and I'll say it again, what I've said 1,000 times. I think Utah is one of the tremendously underrated members of this conference when it comes to the Big 12 and expansion. Because Utah has had significant conversations from what our sources have told us with the Big 12. They are well aware of what is available to them there. And we can sit here and we can guess and wonder why the meeting at Colorado was canceled. It doesn't matter. I'm telling you, I believe it was canceled because it was unnecessary.
Yeah.
And I think that when they are ready, I don't think you're going to get somebody singularly making a move like Colorado's out on their own. It's going to be a group of teams. Because if Colorado leaves, it's going to be for cause. It is going to be because they did not get what they needed to get. And I think when you see that, and I think when you start hearing all of these conversations and you start, really being able to put dots together by talking to people in the know, you understand that I don't believe that Colorado is in my opinion, in any hurry because they don't have to be.
Yeah, and I think that applies for most of the teams. I mean, again, nobody has to be in a hurry. They just have to be prepared. Like they got to be ready for when that TV deal number comes in to make a decision, because once the number's in, then you're going to have, if people want to leave based on that number, then you're going to have the exodus.
Yeah.
But so you just have to be ready.
I think completely you have to be ready.
Yeah.
And I don't think the thing that we try to stay away from on this show is you just cannot continue to guess. You just can't. Salty Drunk says it's not $65 for the Monties after this exposure. Hey, man, I'm telling you, Canyons doesn't need our help, dude. Certainly not. Let's see. I read that one already. Travis, I read that one. I'm way behind. My tarot card reader also recommended the Advocates.
Wow.
Well, there you go. There you go. Far. Your name's Far. That's what it is. Oklahoma State was not a big rivalry. It was completely one-sided. Who cares? Yeah, what?
Yeah, it's a big rivalry, man.
I love the fact that, and this is Ohio State fan, Utah fan, Oklahoma fan. Not a rivalry, bro. We kicked our ass every single year. Okay. And I'm guessing based on your avatar picture that you're an Oklahoma guy, and I totally get it. What's the Papa Murphy's discount code? I'll try some of the hype. The discount code for Papa Murphy's Pizza is Monty25.
Yeah.
Monty25 is the discount code for Papa Murphy's Pizza to get 25% off your purchase at $25 or more.
Calzones are bomb.
Calzones and marinara meatball, man. Make sure you download the Papa Murphy's mobile app. It's the easiest way to get it done. By far and without question, it is the easiest way to get it done. Alexander says Bedlam is a huge rivalry always. In my mind anyway. I just think it is, it'll be interesting to see how all of this plays out.
I mean, do we think that they consider the rivalries in realignment? I mean, does like Utah as an example, does Utah find the Big 12 more attractive because of the BYU rivalry? I wonder. I mean, we heard, our sources were telling us that, you have a guy in Tom Holmoe, BYU, working back channel conversations to kind of help guide Utah and get them some information and sort of further the conversation. So it's not as though they hate each other in a business sense, but I just wonder if you're Utah. Like if I was Utah, I'd be saying, okay, yeah, the Big Ten's great because it makes us the most money, but is that actually the best conference for us? Because in the Big 12, we could just as easily win that conference, and we have the local rivalry. Like, I don't know. I think there's some credence to that. But you look around, and it's like, again, if Notre Dame, let's say, was ever to join a conference fully, you can't tell me you wouldn't be looking at the Big Ten and be like, yeah, hey, wow, NBC, SC, like, all these reasons to now join a conference in football. Like, there's a lot of things that go into it, but I've just always been curious, like, is that something that these people consider? Because I got to think it is with the TV landscape.
Yeah, I think it is. I don't know. We'll see. I don't think it is, in my opinion. I don't believe that this is something where the end of the world is based on rivalries.
Yeah.
I think everybody is so split. I truly believe the single biggest issue in realignment is trying to get all of your ducks in a row at the university level. Because I think Washington State's a perfect example of this. I think there is significant division at Washington State as to what their priorities should be.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of people who have told us there that athletics is not near the top of the totem pole. And that spending on athletics has been a source of frustration for many people in academics at Washington State.
Yeah.
And I think they would, if they had their druthers, I think they would much rather see that, yeah, there's just no reason. There's just no reason for some people, they don't have a way to justify spending that kind of money.
Yeah. Yeah.
I honestly, I think that's...
But this is why I go back to the whole concept. Like, Washington State's the perfect example. I go back to the whole concept of there's no way that in the Pac-12,
no way,
you're rocking equal TV revenue or equal, conference revenue through your grants of rights. There's just no way that's happening. It's not possible.
Yeah, I think whatever. I think you've got to get all your ducks in a row at 10 universities, and I think that's very difficult to do.
Yeah.
And I think everybody's got their own firefight, and I think, I think it's one of those things where you have to figure out how you can get everybody in a row. But again, I just maintain the same thing that I've said repeatedly, over and over and over again. There's not one of these 10 schools that wants to leave the Pac-12.
Mm-hmm.
There's not. I don't think there's one of these 10 schools that's ready to do it today. I truly do not, because I think that there's no reason for them to be in a hurry. Why would they be in a hurry? It makes zero sense for them to be in a hurry. And it's why when you hear anybody that's telling you, oh, they're leaving as soon as, like, whatever that bot account was that was tweeting about how they're going to announce that they're leaving the Big 12 or leaving for the Big 12 the next day.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, well, they can't really do that. That's not how there's like a legal process of meetings and a public meeting and a private meeting that's a couple days after there's a timeline legally you have to follow and a process that you have to follow. So it was impossible. And so the athletic director at Colorado coming out against a clear bot account.
Yeah.
Like that's what we have. That's what this story has turned into.
It's pretty sad.
Where bot accounts are being given credence.
Yeah.
It's just not great. It's not great. Gary says, my cousin goes to the U and she told me the sentiment around the student body is that we are headed to the Big 12 and they're excited. Could be.
Yeah, maybe true.
Could be. Like it is to me that it is very interesting to me that nobody, are they going to the Big 12? Maybe. I think they're all going to wait as long as they can wait. Because I can tell you firsthand knowledge, having talked to people very high up at Utah, they're not excited for the Pac-12 to fall apart.
Yeah.
So why would they jump any sooner than they have to?
Well, and then you have the other idea of, hey, who wants to be first, right? Who wants to be, who wants to be the one to announce, hey, we're moving conferences, or how, like, that's what I always think about too, is like, okay, let's say that, for all these people saying, oh, the meeting was canceled and it was canceled because they were going to announce it, whatever. Like, for all those people, okay, let's say that's what the meeting was about, even though it wasn't. So this meeting's about leaving to go to the Big 12. So you're telling me they're going to vote on this, and then what? Tomorrow they're going to announce that on their own solely they're going to the Big 12. It just doesn't work for so many different reasons, and that's why I say you're exactly right. They're going to wait as long as they have to, so that they can say, okay, this is where the grant of rights is at. This is what our TV number is. What do we want to do? It's just like anything else in life that any of you adults listening to the show decide on a daily basis. Hey, I've got 20 miles left in the gas tank. Where do I want to get gas? It's the same thing,
20 miles to Graceland.
Right? Like, it's the same thing, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. That's just me. I think it is what it is, man. If I were you and you're trying to be a prognosticator on this stuff, I would not recommend you get in the business. I just wouldn't. Alexander Smitley, Farmageddon, which, by the way, is what? Iowa State, K-State, is my favorite rivalry. Sunflower is big, but it's hard to get excited when you play KU. Now then, this year, Sunflower Showdown was huge this year for K-State. Well, I think Iowa State's going to be much better this year than they were last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to think they bounce back at some point in some way. It's fair. It says, is K-State a bigger market brand than Washington State? K-State wins games.
Yeah.
In both football and basketball. They actually win games.
Yeah, I was going to say, certainly they're better in basketball.
Why can't the Big 12 add all of the remaining 6 schools after Oregon and Washington leave? I mean, you can do what you want, right? I just wouldn't. Washington State, the problem is Washington State is like UConn football. You have this really great basketball program at UConn, men's and women's, like, no question.
Yeah.
Awesome. But their football program is such an anchor around your revenue stream.
Yeah.
It's just like, so if you add Washington State, you're okay in basketball. You're not doing anything in football. You have a president, and you have a president, frankly, that I don't believe has the following he needs to be significant, to have influence and sway over that. And I just don't know that. I don't know how Washington State ever begins winning when the president doesn't have a unified academic body behind him.
Yeah. Yeah. And by the way, when you run the program into the ground, I have no problem saying, how is it that you're, $70+ million in the hole? I mean, that doesn't just happen on accident.
But also, like, the Nick Rolovich thing isn't really his fault.
No.
That's at a state level.
Yeah.
But you had to deal with it better than you dealt with it.
The coronavirus.
The whole thing sucks. Dude, the whole thing sucks.
Yeah.
It really does. Kurt Meyer says, how about the Rocky Mountain High in Denver? Joker is the man. Yeah, they played pretty well. We'll get to that in about 19 minutes. Patrick Bourne, yep, Monty nailed it. PAC grant of rights. If we ever see one, not all 10 teams will sign it. They won't. I don't think there is any way, shape, or form. First of all, they don't have a grant of rights agreed to, just so we're clear. But B, I don't think there's any way you're getting eight of the 10 teams to sign it.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen. Katie Rader, what's up, Katie Rader? When are you guys going to let us host you and Jake at Texas Tech? Probably the best college golf course in the country. We'll have to do that.
Yeah.
We will have to do that. Kyle J. Dave's sipping that Utah haterade. Some are. Patrick Bourne, Monty, they must be in a hurry if the PAC wants to expand with San Diego State.
Nobody said they wanted to.
I don't know, man. San Diego State is one of the great question marks, I think, in this entire equation. Because I think they have lost a lot of value. Now, I don't begrudge San Diego State for trying to strike while their iron's hot. I mean, you just went to the national championship in college basketball. How difficult is that to repeat? For them, I think it's really difficult. For everybody else, it's hard. For them, I think it's really difficult.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult. So, Matt Ritson says Billy Beer in Texas.
Okay.
Is a terrible beer. Okay. I mean, look, if friends, let's be honest. If you're drinking Billy Beer in Texas, you probably ought to get to TryDayTrading.com/Monty. If we're being really honest about it, right? Great to have TryDayTrading.com back on the program. We have talked about these guys a lot for a long time. I'm telling you that every time TryDayTrading.com is on the show, people are like, oh, day trading's just a scam. Or no, it's not. Well, day trading, you lose your money. No, you don't. Do you think TryDay Trading, who churns out professional traders, day traders, stock market guys, Forex traders, do you think they've been around for decades because everybody loses money? The fact of the matter is, when you go through the TryDayTrading.com program, you're going to make, if you do it as a part-time side hustle, you're going to make hundreds of dollars a day. When Jake and I were sellers at Yelp, we had a whole group of guys that were all day traders.
Yeah.
And made a ton of money doing it. A ton of money as a side hustle. So stop doing DoorDash and Uber Eats and
Amazon crates,
Amazon FBA. Stop doing all that. TryDayTrading.com/Monty, right? They have a 30-day trial membership that is the best program, the best membership I've ever seen, because you get the whole deal on a trial membership. The whole deal. Professional coaching, education, know-how, support. They give it to you all at your own pace in a trial membership. You have nothing to lose. 30-day trial membership, TryDayTrading.com. And if you work day trading full time through the Tri-Day trading program. So you go through their program. At the end of that program, by the way, you're going to trade their money, not your money. Your first trades while you're just dipping your toe in the water, it's with TridayTrading.com's money. And when you make money with their money, you get to keep 80% of the profit at TridayTrading.com. And then when you're trading on your own and you're out there and you're a professional day trader, they have support that you continue to get. You still get coaching. They give you all of this support because they want you to succeed. And when you succeed with Tri-Day Trading, you're making thousands of dollars a day. Did you make $1,000 today? If you didn't, TridayTrading.com/Monty. Live the life you have always dreamed of. Stop talking about the vacations, the houses, and the cars, and start living that life at TridayTrading.com. NBA Finals talk coming up here in about 15 minutes. Let's get your comments on your Truck Stop Gumby says, I'm curious what the Schedule D of a day trader looks like. I don't know. I have no idea. Let's see. Where is Natty Daddy in Oklahoma? Clint Mose says. Okay.
Natty Daddy.
Mike Maple says Haterade is a hell of a drug.
Seriously.
It is. It is. Absolutely it is. CKS, what's up? Does Big 12 really want UConn, or is it a ploy to push four corners? No, I think they would love to add UConn.
Yeah.
But I think they'd love to add UConn basketball.
Yeah.
But they will not piecemeal it. And I don't think that the conference wants to do that. I think the only non-football member that they would add, I think, is Gonzaga.
Yeah.
Just because it's a no-brainer. There's no doubt about it.
Gonzaga.
They've invited Gonzaga for a reason, because you get everything with them. You know, like it is.
And they're half the price.
Yeah, exactly right. Let's see. Deion Sanders, randomness says Deion Sanders to UConn. Yeah, I don't know how we haven't.
Wow.
I don't know how we've never, heard that before.
Yeah.
It just is what it is. Let's see. K Raider says, Monty, as a Red Raider and a Big 12 fan, I would have San Diego State. I think they have just been held back on a lot of levels. I understand the G5 to Big 12 money issue, but wow would be great. I mean, Southern California is pretty significant. I mean, it's pretty significant. And I think there's money to be made there. It's just, I'm just telling you guys, the question is, how are you going to pay for San Diego State?
Yeah, and how much? How are you? What do they deserve? What do they not deserve?
And what? Well, there it is right there. What is the true value?
Yeah.
What is when you talk about San Diego State, what do they bring? Are they bringing you tens of millions of viewers?
I'm not sure that you can say that. I mean, the facilities are nice, but you know.
I mean, you're getting, sure, but what is it that the Big 12 is after? The Big 12 is after reach. The Big 12 is after reach. And Brett Yormark has talked about this.
Mm-hmm.
What comes after you, when you achieve reach and you are reaching a lot more viewers and a lot more basketball, football, baseball, softball fans.
Right.
What does that do for you? It makes you money. It makes you exponentially more money. So they're trying to get partners and members that bring them reach. I don't know that San Diego State truly brings them reach. I understand why for the Pac-12, San Diego State's a must-have. There's nothing to even talk about there.
I think the problem for the Big 12 and San Diego State, is that San Diego State's the little brother that thinks they deserve the world.
I would agree.
That's the problem. And so the Big 12 just doesn't have a need. Would they consider adding them? Yes, of course. It's the Pacific time zone, obviously San Diego, Southern California. Okay, great. There are some things to like. But when you're a G5 level team and you want to go to the Big 12, you're not going to get the pro rata, obviously, because you're not a P5, you're a G5. And San Diego State's running the narrative out here that, hey, we deserve more. We deserve in the 20s at least.
Right.
That's kind of what I think they didn't necessarily give a number, but that's kind of what their messaging was. And so to me, I'm just like, dude, I get it. You want to bring in more revenue because you just renovated your football stadium. I understand that. That doesn't mean that the Big 12 is going to be the buyout you're looking for.
Certainly not. And I think there is, again, and I will just say it again. I think there is a lot of value in the Pac-12 with San Diego State. You've lost Southern California. Frankly, you've lost anything in California south of the Bay Area, south of Berkeley. You need it. You need them. You desperately need them. I get it. It gives you territory. It gives you advertiser, partner money, revenue. Like, I get it. But if you're the Big 12, with all due respect to San Diego State, I just don't see value in San Diego State to the Big 12.
All due respect.
I think it's an uphill fight to get them paid for. I think it's an uphill fight to have them be a quality athletic competitor.
Yeah.
I see a lot more downside and a lot longer of a timeline. Like, if you look at Gonzaga year in and year out plays for not just a spot in the NCAA tournament. I mean, that's been a championship caliber basketball program for many, many years.
I like Gonzaga.
And they offer you good academics. They offer you good, athletics across the board.
Yeah.
There's a lot to like there, right? There's a lot to like there. Geography is the only thing you like about San Diego State in the Big 12.
Yeah.
In the Big 12.
Yep.
So, and I don't want to be too harsh about it. It's Fair says, I don't want San Diego State because their AD has some BDE and has no right. Okay. Spangler, I'm willing to bet San Diego State has never had over 1 million people watch one of their football games. Well, they have not been elite in football for some years.
Yeah.
So I think that's difficult.
Well, and I think the other side too is like, all right, cool, you were really good in basketball this year, but how many times have you done that? I mean, you definitely feel like a one-hit wonder kind of school right now.
Yeah. Katie Rader says, but for the love of God, we added Houston and Cincinnati. What do they do? Cougar High is a joke. But
Cincinnati.
But listen, I think what Luke Fickell accomplished at Cincinnati in football. Now, obviously, he's at Wisco now, right? I mean, that's a huge loss for Cincinnati.
Yep.
Kenyon Martin ain't walking through that door anytime soon, right? And we've had the battle with Cincinnati fan on this show. But I don't think there's any doubt that Houston basketball right now is a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Should they be better in football? And we can argue about what Tom Herman accomplished there or not. They should be better.
Mm-hmm.
Will they be better? I think they will. Do they put dudes in the NFL? They do. But are they a Texas powerhouse? They're not. They're not Tech. They're certainly not Tech. They're certainly not Texas. They're not A&M. Houston needs to be better in football. But that's an elite basketball program right now.
Mm-hmm.
There's value in them in the Big 12. And it gives you a hold on the state of Texas. Like, I mean, you're gonna win a lot of, if you just think, and I know our Texas contingent knows this, but the football and basketball talent that is in the state of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, like just the regionality of athlete. And it's really not a stretch for Houston to hop over to Florida and recruit well. Or, and obviously SEC, ACC, like you have competition. But there's a lot of value in Houston and the footprint and just kind of closing that circle that Houston brings. And I know a lot of Texans are going to say, well, you're just kissing their ass.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. The Big 12 is better for having Houston. Cincinnati, the one I don't understand is UCF. That's going to take some time because you needed help in the Eastern time zone. I totally understand that. But what is the real value there?
Yeah.
Are you getting huge viewership out of that?
I think UCF is one of those squads that's just good enough to balance out your conference a little bit. Like, not that balancing was the top priority, but it's okay, I think Brett Yormark really values having representation in major areas of the country. And I don't think that necessarily means cities. I think when you look at what Brett Yormark has talked about when he's spoken about expansion, I mean, think about what he said. I mean, you're talking about a guy who is pushing the narrative of monetizing basketball and getting into the Pacific time zone. So if you're in that mindset of like, hey, we're trying to make more money, right? UCF isn't horrible in basketball. So they're certainly not some amazing team, but they're good enough where if, Okie State is playing UCF, hey, maybe, that's a good enough game to get you by. Like, they're one of those teams that's going to fill up the bottom of your conference. And that's okay for now. You're not expecting them to go out and win your conference. But again, it's Florida representation. Yeah. It's good to have a team there.
Yeah, I can get down with that. Truck Stop Gumby, Palo Alto is south of Berkeley. That is actually correct. I did say south of Berkeley. But you don't have anything south of Berkeley. You know.
Okay.
Spangler, Big 12 doesn't need any more Texas schools. Well, not anymore, it doesn't. Ritson says San Diego State better over Cincinnati sports, football, and basketball right now.
But for how long? Right? Like, that's the problem.
If you're asking me if I'd rather have San Diego State over Cincinnati, yeah, I love Mexican food. Yes. But is that really a massive step up? Well, I mean, this is the San Diego State basketball question. Did you win? Did you get a significant win because now San Diego State's a basketball power heretofore? I don't think so. Not the way basketball works. College basketball is a very different animal these days.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, I think we can all agree on that. The one and dones, the Bronny to USC. Is USC a basketball powerhouse now because Bronny's there?
Well, it's precisely why San Diego State made it to the national championship game.
No.
Right? Is it not? I mean, like, you look at college basketball, and because of the one and done situation, San Diego State,
the transfer
portal, like, San Diego State is this gritty ass, kick you in the face type team. They're not some, hey, we're just better than you team. They're not. Hey, I've got the best player in the country team. That's not who they are. So, sorry, San Diego State, if we don't have a lot of confidence that you're going to do this every single year, because I don't think you are. I don't even know that we can confidently say that San Diego State is a Sweet 16 team. 3 out of 4 years. 4 out of 6 years.
Yeah, I think it's a tough argument. It's a tough argument, and when you are, I don't know.
And I think that's the issue with them wanting them to be paid more.
San Diego State talking about, well, the pro rata we deserve. What does that mean? What do you mean you deserve?
Yeah.
Because you don't deserve anything in the Pac-12 or the Big 12. You haven't earned anything.
I mean, isn't your value the same as Gonzaga's in the sense that Gonzaga is so valuable, even without football, because they're half the price and they're willing to take like 20 years.
But if Gonzaga joins the Big 12, what does that do for Gonzaga? It makes them a national power even more.
Gonzaga.
Because they're going to make more money. They're going to recruit more. They're going to be on TV more than they already are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can get down with that, right? What does that do for San Diego State if they join the Pac-12? Because I just don't. I'm a Big 12 San Diego State skeptic.
Mm-hmm.
But if they join the Pac-12, I think it really helps the Pac-12, and I think the Pac-12 would pay them a full share. But who's paying? And what's a full share?
Yeah.
That's the question you have to ask yourself.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think it's, exactly right. Exactly right. Where did you go? There you are. Spangler says Gonzaga joining the Big 12 would get them over the national championship hump. Yes, it would.
Yeah.
Yes, it would.
And my point is, if you're San Diego State, you should be going with that same narrative. Hey, we're a G5, right? Hey, we're not even asking you for a full pro rata share. We want to just be a P5, and we'll do it at a discount. That should be their stance, not that you deserve a pro rata.
Yeah. Spangler also says Houston is walking a fine line to becoming very terrible. Why do you guys hate Houston so much?
Yeah, what is it?
Because is there any way to argue their basketball? Yeah, I mean, are we being serious? Are we being serious? There's no way to argue their basketball. That's just not. You're not doing that. Now, are we talking about Houston being some kind of unbelievable? We're not, because they weren't. If we're being totally honest. They were not great. Mm-hmm. But I think you look at their schedule, UTSA, at Rice, TCU, they don't leave the state for the first 3 weeks of the season, right? And TCU's in Houston. Then it's Sam Houston. Their first real game is September 30th. And that's going to be, that's you're not leaving the state, you guys, until October 28th. right? UTSA at Rice, TCU, Sam Houston at Texas Tech, home for West Virginia, home against Texas, and then you go to K-State. And then you come back home on the road to Baylor. When November 4th comes and goes, you understand that Houston will have left Texas once for Manhattan, Kansas. Cincinnati, Oklahoma State, and UCF. Their schedule is not hard. That's a 7, 8, 9 win team.
Yeah.
It's a 7, 8, 9 win team because they're going to beat a couple of people you don't think they should beat, right? Like it is. I'm just telling you guys, we can sit here and we can play games and we can rip Houston and, like it is, to me, in my mind, you look at what Houston is, and it's not Texas A&M, who I think did really well in the transfer portal. But looking at this schedule, I mean, is there anybody that is like, wow, my God, we were in trouble? Like, that's a really good schedule.
Yeah.
That's a really good schedule. And I think if you can find a win or two that you are not supposed to have, and if you can continue to coach up if you can continue to coach up the talent that you have there, Houston's going to be very good in basketball again. And I think they're going to be very difficult to deal with if they get off to a good start.
Yeah.
That is what I would say about that. And a good start for you tonight would be going to Papa Murphy's Pizza. Download the mobile app and get the marinara meatball.
At Papa Murphy's, we do more than just pizza. We do meatballs and marinara.
Papa Murphy's does meatballs?
Oh, I think you mean I do the meatballs and marinara?
And how do you do it, Dad?
How do I do it? How do I do it?
Oh, well, we do it with savory ground beef
Covered in tangy marinara. That's how, honey.
At Papa Murphy's, we make great pizza.
And don't forget the meatballs.
Order now at papamurphys.com.
Papa Murphy's Pizza. Use the promo code Monty25 to get 25% off your purchase of $25 or more at Papa Murphy's Pizza. Vincent Watson says Pac-10 is not letting no more teams out. What do you mean letting?
Yeah.
What do you mean letting? They're powerless to do anything about it. What do you mean letting? Vincent also says, why do you hate UConn? Nobody here hates UConn.
Yeah.
Their football team is a drag. And I think one of the main reasons they're not going to get into the Big 12 is because they are not financially committed to making football a revenue-generating sport at UConn. They don't have an on-campus stadium. They don't have a passionate following. And putting UConn football games on your Big 12 football package is not going to help you.
Yeah. Yep.
Like it is, Sean Mierzinski, Houston basketball has been decent for years. It has. Houston is the 4th largest city in America. And this is the other thing I think people don't understand. And I don't know if I said this, so if I did, I'm being redundant. But Houston is not necessarily about sports. It's about Texas. It's about Texas. It's about reach. It's about eyeballs. It's about, oh, and by the way, they're elite at basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, come on now.
Yeah.
It's Fair said Houston lost to Kansas at home last year. Well, Kansas had a great year last year for Kansas. Look, I'm not telling you that Houston's some great football team. That's not what I'm telling you. But they're moving in the right direction.
And they're a quality member.
Yeah, I don't understand why the slander of if we really have to explain that.
We're not having a conversation about college football playoff eligibility here. We're talking about, hey, is the likes of Cincinnati, Houston, UCF, BYU, obviously, are these schools good for the Big 12? UCF, question mark. Not sure yet. Got to see what they do. Houston, yes. BYU, absolutely for the ESPN contract on its own. And I don't care if you hate BYU or whatever. Right? That relationship on its own is worth it. And then Cincinnati, hey, I think Cincinnati is a big question mark unto itself.
I think it's a huge question mark.
Like, there's no way to project how crappy they're going to be. Or on the flip side, hey, how long is it going to take you to ramp back up? I don't know.
Yeah.
Luke Fickles don't just fall off trees, man.
Luke Fickles don't just fall off trees.
They don't.
They do, you know.
We're on to Cincinnati.
Greg Hawkins says, hello, fellow casuals. Hello. Kyle A says, proud member of Two Great Guys. Kyle's been a member on the show for 2 months. Appreciate you, Kyle. Thank you. The city does not care if it's a pro sports town and they're in the AC domes. Well,
that may be your opinion. But
Katie Rader, do you really believe that adding Houston was a bad idea to the Big 12? Can you honestly put down your guns? Pew, pew. Can you honestly?
Yeah, Texas Tech, put down your guns. Yeah.
Can you honestly say adding Houston was a bad decision? Come on. UCF, second largest university in Florida, and Jake's questioning its worth. Well, it's not questioning its worth. It's an awkward fit in the Big 12 right now.
Yeah.
That's what it's not. Everybody wants to talk about the merits. It's not the merits of UCF is a crappy school. Their books don't have bindings. That's not what it's about. When you look at UCF's fit, there's no way to spin. They're out on an island like West Virginia was. They're on an island, dude. There is no doubt about that. That is the Southeast footprint, cleat, stake in the ground of the Big 12.
You added UCF because you wanted to bleed into SEC territory as much as you could.
Yeah.
And I get that. I'm not saying UCF is a bad institution. But in January, when we're talking about UCF having 3 wins in football, what are you going to say? Will they do okay in basketball? Yeah, I'm sure. Notice what my take was. My take was, hey, they're not a great elite program at anything, right?
Exactly.
That does not make them a bad ad. Just like San Diego State has some questions in the value department to the Big 12 because they think they, quote, deserve a pro rata. You're not good enough to say that you deserve a pro rata the way Gonzaga is good enough. Notice Gonzaga hasn't demanded a pro rata. You guys notice that? Gonzaga hasn't come out here and said, like, yeah, hey, we're national championship good. We deserve 31.7. They're not saying that. You know why they're not saying that? Because they know going to the Big 12, jumping into a P5 is going to probably double their revenue. And they're just fine with that because they know, okay, if we double our revenue and we're playing for national championships, money's going up. We're in a good place. So when I'm talking about UCF, I'm not saying they're a bad school. I'm not saying they're a bad ad. The reality of the situation, though, like he said, is they are on an island, right? You're in Florida. Like, you're in prime SEC territory, friends. Obviously, the ACC as well. So until the conference expands more, there's no other way around it. You're on an island, and that's okay. But you got to prove your worth a little bit here. It's your first year, much like all the haters on BYU talking about how they got to prove their worth.
Yes.
UCF is in the same situation. Houston doesn't need to prove anything. Houston's program is good.
But Gonzaga's that hot chick with like a huge rack. She squats all the time. So she doesn't have to come up to you and say, hey, did you notice how hot I am? Look how sexy I am. Oh my God, did you see the glutes? Look at my glutes, because Bright Yormark's already back there like, damn. Hey, Zags. Hey. He knows how good they are. He knows what they're worth. He knows that he owes them $20 million a year. He knows. Come out as a little pew, pew, pew. If I just go pew pew all the time, will people laugh?
No, because they'll be like, hey, you said that UCF sucks.
Well, UCF is the lot lizard of the truck stop conference. Stop.
Well,
truck stop Gumby says that hot chick. Hey, man. Larry Pilgrim. Houston was on the list for additions 2 years ago for the PAC, FYI.
Yeah,
yes, it was.
Yes. And everyone said, oh, they would never add Houston.
Guys,
like,
listen,
dude, come on.
What's going to happen? Do you guys understand? Houston football this year has Texas, TCU, Texas Tech, and Baylor at home. Like, you guys.
Like, come on.
Now, that's good and bad because you got to win those games. But, and I say this every year, and I feel like I should just chop my tongue off when I say it.
Texas should be really good this year.
Dude, what? What?
Maybe your mom didn't go to heaven.
Bro, what are you doing, bro? You're asking for trouble, man.
Oh dear.
Sorry.
Dude, you're going to piss off Texas Tech fan.
Texas could go to the college football playoff.
Fire and fury.
Dude.
Sorry. I wanted to laugh.
Tide.
I want.
Nick Saban is a better man than you are.
Greg Hawkins, if you guys ever end up going to Houston and seeing their campus, it's a really nice campus. Their stadium could use a little work.
Guys.
But I think they upgraded it. Yeah.
Guys.
Houston's, Hey,
guys.
I still am.
See you Saturday, Greg.
Yeah. I don't mind. I like Houston. Jeremy Callahan says, we're back. Okay. Katie Rader, yes, I think it was a horrible decision. Love BYU, did love Utah. Barry Switzer said so just the other day on another show. Also, Bob Huggins badmouthed them during the tournament. Well, Bob Huggins said
Bob
it.
Huggins got a real problem with bad-mouthing people. Glad that he's still on staff and glad that he still represents the wonderful University of West Virginia.
Kiss my butt.
Hell out of here with Bob Huggins.
Mike Smith, Texas always wins the offseason.
We project Texas to go undefeated and beat Georgia in the national championship.
That's the untrained eye.
Every year, isn't it? Like, Vince Young. The next Vince Young has arrived, and his name is Manning, and he's on the bench.
Are we clear on that?
Right? Like, oh, my God.
Yeah, it's classic. Hey, there's a Manning on Texas's roster.
Oh, my God.
Hey, by the way, did you guys see that he's on the bench?
Manning's going to Texas to be a bench warmer. Steve Sarkisian, everybody. Right? Like, come on.
I mean, what's the over-under until Manning sees time? 3 games?
Kurt, dude, no. Texas is signing up for an online Alcoholics Anonymous.
Bro, dude.
Nice. Jeremy Calzone. Huggy made some mistakes and bad comments, but he's been good to people way more than not.
3/4 of this is inaccurate.
Well, I'm glad that you endorse a guy that, is dropping, heat like that.
Don't.
Thank you.
Don't. Spangler, rumors Kansas will ban Bob Huggins from coaching in the state would be great if that happened.
Agreed.
Never gonna happen. Joe Duck says, I'm a man.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a man.
Delaric says, I think Manning is a little overrated. He goes to Texas. Ryan says, what does Monty think about the new AD at Notre Dame? You know what I think? They hired a TV guy. And brilliantly so. Brilliantly so, dude. Brilliantly so. I mean, the only thing that I can think of, and the only way that you can ask yourself, how did Notre Dame pull off one of the great hires, is that they drank bucked up right before they made the decision.
Body freaking God!
They got a buckshot.
Yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Absolutely.
They got a buckshot sample out of the description below, where you click the link, and you get the free samples, and they're like, dude, we need somebody from NBC Sports to do. You're not going to drink.
I already did.
You did?
Yeah, dude, I already did, bro.
When did you do that?
Yeah, like 4:45, bro.
Did you really?
I needed my pop.
Get the
pew 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 pew.
Make sure you get your free buckshot samples. They want to send you 6 right to your front door for free. In the description below, I'm telling you, watermelon is where it's at. I use this stuff like it's 5:15. I'm taking it because I'm going to the driving range after the show.
Mm-hmm.
Getting up tomorrow morning, playing a round of golf. Like, I'm going to feel great at the range. I'm going to sleep like a baby. I'm going to get up tomorrow, and I'm going to do it all over again.
Yep.
And bucked up supplements like sitting right here on the table. Can of bucked up Miami, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Back in stock in the hizzy. Maybe if Houston had some bucked up Miami, they'd have won more than 0 games that Katie Rader gives them credit for. It's a terrible program that's in the ghetto, he said. Maybe Houston University needs to get bucked up. Jeremy Calzone, buckshot or butt shot?
Dude.
Buckshot.
Butt shot?
You know. Truck Stop Gumby says pew pew.
Yeah, pew pew.
Make sure you use the promo code Monty to get 20% off your purchase at checkout at buckedup.com. But get the free samples. The Buck Bar, dude, the afternoon Buck Bar has made a huge difference for me as well. You guys know I've lost a bunch of weight here recently. I'm at, almost approaching 20 pounds now in the last month or so. And it's because I've really leaned on bucked up energy, Buck Bars, buckshot, and I feel better. So I'm sleeping better, which is a huge part of it. I'm mentally tougher, so I eat better.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I'm exercising more because I have more energy. Like, I'm telling you guys, bucked up is the way to go. Make sure you tell me you heard about it on the Monty Show. A couple more comments, then we got to get to the NBA. Truck Stop Gumby says, I got 3 cans at my local Walmart. Let's go. Let's go. I love the local Walmart. You can get bucked up at Walmart. You can get bucked up at any bucked up store.
Mm-hmm.
You can order online at buckedup.com. Use the promo code Monty. Easy. Katie Rader says, no, it's few. No, okay. All right. That's fine. Spangler says, nothing better than the teal fuchsia Miami color scheme.
Facts.
Amen.
Facts, bro.
Telling you.
Facts.
I'm telling you. It is.
Facts.
It is. It's beautiful. It is beautiful. When we're talking about color schemes on the Monty program. And Mike Smith says, living the pew pew life. Pew pew!
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, come on.
It's one of the...
Y'all feel me?
I'm not to derail the program here.
Oh, God.
Mrs. Monty would like you to check your text messages.
Oh, God.
She, needs an answer in a more promptly fashion.
They texted.
Okay, so my wife is at Costco, and the first text I see is recklessly buying a patio set.
This is the kind of energy I'm on today. Let's go.
They said get married.
Recklessly.
It makes your life better. I'm going to run to Costco getting frozen fruit salad. Frozen fruit and salad, do you need anything? I just need your tender, loving kisses.
I want it.
Aww.
Right.
You know what? I want those bear chicken.
Those are good.
Chicken nuggets, dude.
The chicken nuggets, dude. 40-piece nugget, dude.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
How do you spell nuggies?
Nugggies.
Okay, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Please. What do you buy at Costco, real quick?
What do I buy at Costco? Not a ton.
Not a ton.
There's a few things. Salad kits, rotisserie chicken pre-chopped in a bag. What else? Pita bread. Pita. Honey.
My wife is great.
Yeah.
My wife is great.
Yeah.
She does things like that for me all the time. Like she'll be like, "Hey, I'm gonna start some laundry. You want me to throw yours in?" Or because she's home. She's home far more than I am. She does a great job. And she's just
Right. Yeah.
You know. Brady Cook says Costco water is good. Okay, let's talk about this real quick before we get to the NBA and the Jazz TV deal. Are you water snobs?
Absolutely. All day.
I do not drink tap water. Mm-hmm. And I think this is well documented on this show. I also do not drink like
Aquafina.
I think, oh my God. What's the other one with the green lid and the bluish label?
Green lid and the bluish.
Oh, Dasani.
Dasani, yes.
Because it's garbage.
Straight out from under the bed of the soldier guy.
Dude. Yeah.
Makes me want to puke.
I'm a core water guy or I am an Evian drinker.
Fiji.
I will drink Fiji. I am not drinking tap water.
Not a Crystal Geyser guy?
No. Yes, Spangler. Yes. Fiji water is goated.
Yeah.
Yeah. Big Daddy Magic. I'm drinking a ton of water these days. I'm giving up soda. I haven't had a soda in 12, 13 years now. It's all about the water. All I drink, literally, you guys, water and bucked up.
Water ice.
That's what I drink. Not really except for Evian. Evian is amazing. Jet Wayman, what's up, my guy? Smart water or alkaline water or San Pellegrino. When we go out to dinner, I can't remember the name of the water in the glass bottle.
Damn.
But it's really like water in a glass bottle is a life hack. And most people don't get that, but water in a glass bottle is a life hack.
Aqua.
It is.
No, not Aqua.
Aquapana.
Aquapana. There it is.
Aquapana.
Yeah.
But I don't mind. You know what, Teddy? The thing about Smart Water is they overfill the jar.
That's one of my biggest pet peeves.
Or the bottle.
Biggest pet peeves, man.
It drives me crazy. It spills everywhere.
It makes a complete mess.
Now, here's a question, because I really want to try Liquid Death. Liquid Death is water in a can, for those of you who don't know. Is Liquid Death really amazing? Is that true? Is that true? I don't...
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I would like... if people have had Liquid Death, I'd really like an answer to that.
Yeah, can I get a review?
Mike Smith, I like Fiji the few times I buy bottled water. Fiji's amazing. Truck Stop Gumby says Liquid Death ain't bad. Okay. Let's see. Whoa. That's called a comment dump. K. Nurin. Water will keep you healthy. It does. It's amazing. Jeremy Calzone, Liquid Death, just go to Mexico and drink tap water. Stop, Ritson. Stop it.
Arrowhead.
No. No, Ritson. Truck Stop Gumby, Avion greater than Liquid Death.
You know what Avion is.
Well, the Tears of Christ.
Yeah, I mean, obviously. Come on, dude.
In God's name, image, and likeness.
Willie, I'm sorry. Brandon Wooten. Ketchup on pizza. Also, PAC 7 made Liquid Death deal recently.
PAC 7.
PAC 7.
Bro.
Okay.
Okay, and hold on.
Ketchup on pizza?
What are you talking about, bro?
Like, who says stuff? Ketchup on pizza?
Out of here with that, dude. I mean, what are you talking about, dude?
Billy Ferguson says Life Water.
Water ice.
I don't know if I've ever had Life Water.
Water ice.
Have I had Life Water?
No.
I don't think I've had Life Water.
Water ice.
I'll drink Life Water if you guys hit the like
button.
No,
I'm not doing that.
Let's see. No, Calzone. Arrowhead.
You're out of your freaking mind.
I like the head part. The arrow. No, I'm good. The Big Lubbock. What happened to Swarbrick? He retired in a year. I don't have a problem with it. I truly don't. You know. Randomness says nobody's going to talk about Fiji. I think we've mentioned it like 10 times.
Yeah, like 3 times, dude.
You know.
Yeah.
I drink the tears of my enemies. Wow, Greg. Wow.
Dilly.
Good Lord. Kurt Myers. Bottled water only has to meet Food and Drug Administration standards. Not much higher Safe Drinking Water Act. Yeah, I am not a faucet
But do you believe that brands like Fiji are actually giving you better water than, you know, Aquafina or Dasani or like the low end? So you think they are? Because I don't know if they are. I know it tastes better.
Fiji is not. Fiji has actually been one of the most tested waters in the world. And I think Avion's the most tested water in the world. And they come out amazingly well. Fiji is actually spring water. Like it's legit. Like Fiji is an actual, it is. Fiji's amazing. Yes, Gary. Fiji is God's water. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
God bless.
John Dry says at least it's not Bud Light. Stop. Like the Bud Light thing, guys.
Why?
Are we really? No, I'm not doing
My fucking ass.
Calzone says any bottled water produced in Flint, Michigan is A-OK with me. Wow.
Yeah,
wow. Spangler living the Jakey two-holes life. Tap through a Brita does it for me.
Yeah, that's what I drink.
I'm just telling you now.
There's nothing wrong with a Brita filter.
What you ought to do is turn to your woman and ask for a loan and say, I need a refrigerator with a water spigot.
All I have in this world is my balls and my word.
Don't have my balls anymore if I'm asking for a loan.
You don't. You didn't have them to begin with. I doubled up my bets last night. I mean,
dude,
what can I say?
Get the hell out of here, bro. You know what I mean? Come on, dude.
Yeah.
Last night was
Teddy.
Was not good.
I mean, what happened, Miami? I mean, what happened? Did you forget to make a turnaround jump shot, Himmy? I mean, did you forget? Like, where's my boy? His name just went right out. Where's Caleb?
Robinson?
Where the hell is Caleb Martin, dude? Where are you at, bro?
I know why.
I know why you choose to lose your home games at night. Douchebags.
I don't know what to make of this because the Miami Heat culture, bro, is not to play defense every other game. Because did you not realize that Jamal Murray was, actually really good? And again, I just continue to say, keep Nikola Jokic out of a triple-double. 4 uncontested offensive rebounds. Like, it's amazing.
So wait,
how bad Miami was last night.
You're telling me that you allow Jokic to go 32, 10, and 21?
How do you explain that?
And you are surprised you lost the game. Come on, dude.
And what did I say? Keep
him under double-digit assists, and you'll be fine. And what did you do?
You didn't keep him under double-digit
No,
assists.
you didn't.
Do you guys understand that they had 13 offensive rebounds, that 45 defensive rebounds? As a team, they out-rebounded Miami 58-33.
And look at Michael Porter Jr. again. Did I not talk about this cat yesterday? 2 points. 2 points.
Yeah, but the
boards.
problem is you got 66 from Jokic and Murray.
That's what I mean. Like, damn, bro.
Oh, Jimmy is him, bro. Yeah, apparently he's not.
Like Christian Braun, like, dude, bro, can somebody slow the guy down? How hard is it?
Yeah, because Gordon didn't play exactly well. His defense was really good. Porter was not good.
But 10 points out of Gordon is pretty par for the course, right?
Tavius Caldwell-Pope was not good. They won the game with Jokic and Murray.
Yeah.
And again, Nikola Jokic, I mean, just put a statue up now.
Yeah.
Put a statue up right now.
I'm already tired of him. Already tired of Buddy.
It's amazing to me just how good he is, Nikola Jokic.
And this is the problem with the Heat. I honestly feel like what you just said is spot on. They play defense every other game. So, like, now they know, okay, series is 2-1. We got to win our last home game.
We better get locked in.
Yeah, we better get locked in. Playoff Jimmy might want to actually, show up in this series.
Hey, send a limo for Himmy.
Jesus.
Because Jimmy showed up when you needed Himmy.
My God, dude. Like, and what's frustrating about watching this? I don't even care that I was wrong about who was going to win this game. Yeah, I'm wrong. I was wrong last night. But what really bothers me is that this 109-94 result is not even close to indicative about how this game went.
And it wasn't competitive.
Yeah.
It wasn't competitive.
And it just bothers me. It's like, dude, I know the Heat are better than this. I know that this should have been a 2-3 possession game, not a 10 possession game. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know.
Damn.
I don't know, dude. All I continue to say is, I don't know, man. I just will continue to tell you, I think it is embarrassing that Michael Malone, the coach of the Nuggets, after game 2 was like, hey, we got to step it up. We really got to tell these dudes they got to step it up. And now Eric Spoelstra's like, well, we're just going to have to step it up.
Yeah, whatever.
It's the NBA Finals, man. It's why you play to lose. No, you don't.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you do.
Having said that, anybody have any confidence at all that this series isn't over?
Oh, yeah. I think we got a little ways to go here. I mean,
the
obviously
series is not over.
Yeah, the series is not over.
It's not. I mean, plus 3.5 for Miami, 211. I mean, if you're betting and you don't bet Denver the rest of this series, just mail me your money, please.
Yeah.
Kurt Myers continues with a ridiculous take. Joker is the real NBA most valuable player. He's not. Is that a playoff? That's a playoff award, the most valuable player. Oh, that's right. It's not. It's for the entire season. And Joel Embiid was by far, almost unanimously, and by most people's opinion. I don't understand this thing that we do all the time. Well, Joel Embiid, he sucks. Jokic is the MVP. He's not, actually, because the last time I checked, Joel Embiid won the MVP award. So he's not, Jokic is not the real MVP. It drives me crazy that we rip down a guy like Joel Embiid, who had one of the most historic seasons in Philadelphia 76er history.
Yeah.
Oh, but Jokic is the real MVP. He's not, actually. He's not. He's actually not.
Yeah.
It drives me crazy that we can't just say, man, Jokic is amazing. Look at this run he's on in the playoffs. He's clearly going to be the playoff MVP.
Yep.
Why can't we just appreciate Jokic as an elite player instead of having to go and rip down a guy like Joel Embiid? I will never understand it.
Yeah.
Can't understand it. Kevin Love and Max Strus need to step up and play better. Kevin Love has been remarkably disappointing. Remarkably disappointing. It's just crazy to me that I don't understand why guys can't get jazzed, can't get enthused, excited, tuned up, mindset right. Like, it's the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
It's the NBA. Like, Strus, I just think he's not a top flight player. He is a role player.
Super hot and cold.
The problem is, it's a guy, like, you built this team to rely on Tyler Hero, who's not available to you. That cat is, like, he's just not there, right? And you're relying on a guy like, a Duncan Robinson to give you 9 points in 14 minutes. Because it's Duncan Robinson.
Yeah.
And I think one of the other things you have to remember is Denver is, I think now, by all accounts, the best team in the NBA. You're playing Cinderella, and she ain't got no shoes.
Yeah.
Like, Miami they had to come in through the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So, and this is, I think eventually, and this is why I love the NBA and its long series, you get exposed for being who you are.
Yes.
You are who you are in the
Yes.
NBA.
At some point,
you can't hide.
At some point, their lack of depth is going to get them. And I think we saw that last night.
You can't score 28 points off your bench and think that you're gonna win.
Yeah.
You're not, and you can't play Kyle Lowry 30 minutes and get 9 points.
Yeah.
Kyle Lowry's not an NBA caliber contributor anymore, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Not on a championship team. But is Max Strus? Yeah, because every team needs that guy.
Yeah.
Right? He's your Cantavius. He is your, but notice they play Reggie Jackson 1 minute.
Mm-hmm.
So they play Reggie 30 minutes.
Bro, you got a guy, but the point is that Reggie could come off the bench for 20 and give you 25.
And the difference is you're getting 66 points.
Yeah.
From Jokic and Murray. You don't need.
They abused you, bro.
That's incredible. You got 66 points, 20 assists, 31 rebounds from those two guys. Yep. You won the game single-handedly with those two guys. And then you throw in 15 from Braun and 28 total. You guys understand they had 28 total assists. 20 of that came from Jokic and Murray.
Yes.
Those two dudes are
dominant.
And I will just say, you want to beat the Nuggets, you better not let Jamal Murray get loose. Because if he's going to score, dude, if homie's going to score 34 points and 10 boards and 10 dimes,
and
31 rebounds.
Made it look pretty easy.
31 rebounds.
Yeah.
You got to bet Denver the rest of the way. You just have to.
I mean, Murray, 3 of 6 from 3. I mean, that's dominating you.
I think when you look at the level of play you're getting from Nikola Jokic, you don't need much else.
Yeah.
So when you get a push like that, I mean, when you get those two guys putting up those two numbers, the game's
And they were very intentional about playing a two-man game as well. I mean, you could see that. You knew that they wanted to get those two guys in rhythm going early, and then let's see what else we get. I mean, that's really smart by them.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about it more tomorrow, but plus 3.5, you got to bet Denver to win that game outright.
Yes, you do.
To cover the 3.5, win the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't see any way you make that bet anymore.
Yeah.
Like it is. Yeah, I think it's. Teddy, why do they pronounce his name Brown when it's spelled Braun? I thought it was Braun. Is it Brown? I don't know.
He's not that good yet.
I don't know. That's just me though.
Yeah.
Real quick though, before we get to why insurance is a fraud. So you guys remember we talked about Lionel Messi,
the Jesus Christ of soccer,
and everybody said nobody cares. Nobody. Did you guys see? Since nobody cares about Inter signing Lionel Messi,
yeah,
they picked up 4.4 million followers on social.
Hey guys,
4.4 million, and that was, I haven't even looked at where they're at now. That was this afternoon.
Yeah.
But you guys, are we? I think there's just no way around it anymore. They are going to be. They picked up 290,000 followers on Twitter. 290,000. Like you guys, this is crazy, dude. Now. This is craziness now that they are. Let me just see where they're at on Instagram, because Instagram's the one that got the huge pop. Oh my God, they're at 6.2 million. They picked up 5.1 million now.
Yeah.
On Insta Snapface. That's unbelievable. Can we all at least get on board with the fact that Lionel Messi is going to bring people to MLS?
Better send those refunds.
I mean, he is. I think it's a difference maker.
It is. The question was never, was he going to bring relevancy, right? Like we talked about yesterday. The only question is, hey, the relevancy he's definitely going to bring, is that going to be enough to make it worth giving him shares of your profit at Apple?
That's right.
Is it going to be enough to make the MLS, Apple TV deal make sense for everybody involved? That's the question.
And you know what the real issue with that is? You know what that is? Apple won't tell us how many subscribers they have. That's the real issue. Is they won't. They won't
divulge.
And I don't know that they should, because it is potentially damagingly embarrassing how few people subscribe, like paying subscribers to MLS on Apple TV. Like, it's painfully bad.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I think just real quick, the Messi thing I think is real. You picked up 5 million followers, 6.2 million total.
I would be really curious to see how many of those folks are in the state and how many of that is global.
Yeah. Greg Hawkins, when Beckham joined LA, it increased the profile of the league quite a bit, hoping Messi does the same. Me too. Hawkins says, I'm a paying subscriber to MLS on Apple TV, and the experience is actually great. Really? Interesting. Kurt Peters, football is a child sport played by the rest of the world. It is. I'm not even...
But that's why it's played by the rest of the world, because it's accessible.
Yeah. Jeremy Calzone says MLS stands for Mexico loves soccer.
Okay.
Mike Smith says no. Will it make a difference? No. Jimmy, how many subs has Apple added? Great question. They won't tell us. They will not tell us.
Yeah.
Truck Stop Gumby says no one cares, Murica. Well, Greg, and this is a great question. I wonder if Messi will increase foreign subscriptions to MLS package. It has to.
It has to, right?
It has to. Brandon Butler, Messi to MLS is huge. Get Ronaldo to come. Dude, he's making so much money in that Saudi league.
Yeah.
Why would you? Truck Stop Gumby, Jakey Two Holes will be on Social Security when soccer becomes relevant.
Facts.
Facts. He says facts. Somebody, they're treating the MLS like a retirement league. It is for really high quality performers from around the globe. It is a retirement league.
Yeah.
It's a golden parachute. There's no question about it.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get a couple of non-sports sources. I want to talk about insurance because I'm really frustrated. All right. Let me sit up.
I get in the car this morning.
Let me sit up.
I come over, get in the car because, I come over to his house. We carpool. I get in the car, and instantly I knew, okay, it's going to be one of those car rides where, you were kind of, serious energy mode getting in the car. I was like, all right, cool. We're just going to chill. And what do I see you do? You open a certain insurance company's app, dial them up. And I was like, all right, great. Here we go.
So we had to leave early this morning to go drive up and meet some folks.
Some certain individuals.
And we did. And on the way up there, I somehow, some way got a rock chip that turned into a crack on my windshield.
Yeah.
So I have not had a cracked windshield for years here in the great state of Utah. Well, it turns out that you got to call your insurance company to get that fixed. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Dial it up. Press 6 for a glass claim.
And what did you say to me about what you knew when you were calling these people? What'd you say?
I don't remember.
You said, I know I shouldn't be calling at this time because I'm not going to get the kind of person I want to talk to. I'm going to get someone, because it was like 7 a.m. So none of these companies are answering the phone. So what do you get? And I hate this about customer service now. I truly hate this. I don't want to talk to someone like overseas or whatever. I don't. I'm paying you a certain amount of money every single month for a good experience.
Not every single month. For years and years and years and years, because whoever changes insurance companies.
That's true. It's one of the greatest and worst things about insurance.
You got to go through the rigmarole of, hey, you know, what's your name? What's your phone number? What's your VIN number? What's your policy number? What is the diameter of your rectum? What is the,
whatever.
like, all these stupid questions.
Which you were not here for.
And I was crabby already, admittedly. And I even told the lady, look, I'm not here for this, man. I am not in the greatest of moods. I just want to...
Which I was impressed by.
I straight up said I am not in the mood, because she asked me for my email address like 3 times.
Yeah.
I was like, okay. Gave her the information. And she's like, yeah, that'll be $1,000. And I'm like, hey, I have a glass rider. She's like, well, no, you don't, but I can put in a dispute. And I was like, when she said I can put in a dispute, I was like, all right, I'm good. Thanks a lot. Have a good day. And I just hung up. And that was my woo-saw moment. I was like, I'm out. Fuck it. So then I go have my meeting. Great business meeting. Great people. It was awesome. Excited to tell you guys about it down the road in a minute.
Picked you up.
My mood's been lifted. Like, it was amazing. Get in the car. Go get the shirts. We picked up the shirts for this weekend for the MLS extravaganza. It was amazing. Argued with our good friends about the Bacavo sandwich at Super Chicks. Like, we just had a really good morning. Get to the office, pick up the phone, call my insurance company.
Hoping to have a better experience.
Call my agent. She's like, oh, you live in Utah. That's right. Yeah, they don't do whole glass replacement there. You got to file a comprehensive claim.
That's out of the window.
And yeah, your deductible's $1,000. Let's have a $1,000 deductible. So I have to pay for my own windshield. Okay, I get it. You don't cover that in Utah. So I call the glass company, Safelite. Oh, actually, I did it online. Now, in Arizona, they cover your window, no cost, 0 cost to consumer. But Safelite came out and did a window on my Fiat Abarth. Loved that car. And they did a really terrible job. I mean, a hatchet job. So it turns out Safelite's really the only, that I know of, the only reputable glass company in Utah. There's a bunch of fly-by-nights and call centers, and they want $632 to replace my windshield. $632 to replace my windshield. Like, I give up. I give up. Dude, I give up. You're my flipping insurance company. I pay you $200 a month, every year. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Never use my insurance, thankfully.
Yeah.
Never use my insurance. I think the last time I used my insurance that I filed a claim was 2011 in Los Angeles. I have not used my insurance since then.
Yeah.
Just never. And yet, what do you get? Hey, yeah, we're going to have to figure out how to charge you more money. Insurance is a scam.
Facts.
And when you need insurance, it's even more of a scam because they want to pay you as little as possible.
Facts.
They don't, I'm telling you, and this is what pisses me off about health insurance. It pisses me off about car insurance. Oh, you're sick? Yeah. Go ahead and just fuck all the way off.
Yeah.
Because we're not going to pay that ambulance bill. No. So my wife breaks her arm up in Park City. Do you have a choice of what ambulance company you use? You broke your fucking arm. Get in the ambulance. We'll take you down the hill to UHealth.
Yeah.
Hey, the insurance company. Hi, it's the insurance company. Look, I know you broke your arm and we asked you to fuck all the way off. Could you fuck off even farther? Because we're not going to pay for the ambulance, right? No, see, it was out of network. Well, turns out that they have to pay for the ambulance ride because you didn't have a choice because you broke your arm, not of your own doing. You had an accident. So you have to fight them. And you got to get the fire department and the ambulance company to write a letter and, oh, yeah, our bad, we'll pay the claim. It's incredible to me. But miss a premium or don't do something right or fart before you call them. Well, you know what? You should have called us before you farted. Can't pay that bill. Sorry, buddy. Like, I get my physical every year. Changed health insurances because I changed my job. They declined to pay They declined to pay it for the longest time. Just declined to pay it. Decline. Hey, by the way, oh yeah, we'll pay it. We'll take care of that. It's a scam, dude.
Yeah.
It is insurance is a scam. That's the only way to put it.
Yes.
And I love my insurance agent, Sarah Road in Mesa, Arizona. Amazing insurance agent. Amazing. But your insurance agent is meaningless when you crack your window and they want a $1,000 deductible on a $600 bill. And straight up, you know what? At least in Utah, they had to make a law that says they can't raise your insurance premium for a rock chip repair on your windshield because those MFers will raise your premiums. Oh, you broke a windshield? Yeah, we're going to have to raise your premiums for that. You farted on your front seat? Oh, man. We're going to have to raise your insurance premium on that.
It's such a joke, dude.
You slammed your car door too hard? Oh, boy. Whew. Could have caused damage. Better. You're a risk now.
Jackass.
Right? Like, that's what this is.
Yeah.
That's what this is. And it is really, really unfortunate because it's just not necessary.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be that way.
It's just not necessary. And the problem is with what I learned today is, in Utah, they don't offer full service glass coverage. They don't. They'll pay for a rock chip to get filled. But if you got to replace your windshield, it's 100% out of pocket in Utah. Incredibly frustrating. It's incredibly frustrating.
I don't understand. Like, what about Utah? Like, why can't you cover it in Utah?
Yeah, and there's a lot of glass claims here.
Let me guess. There's some statute that you're falling back on as to why you can't cover in Utah.
I think it's a volume thing. There are a ton of glass claims in Utah because it's a desert. We're always under construction and it's windy.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
And it's really frustrating because I'm going to have to cough. And it's not really a matter of money. I got to be honest with you. It's not the money. It's the principle of the thing. I pay you on F-ton.
Yeah.
And I never get a return on it. Yeah. And then when I need it, you're either like, no, we're not going to pay it, or let's fight. Here are some gloves. Put your hands up. Let's throw a blow.
Schemers trying to control their little worlds.
Like, if you get in and not even because they advertise on the show. I'm telling you right now, if you get into a car accident and you don't get a lawyer, you're dumb.
Yeah.
You're asking to get screwed.
Yeah.
Because I'm telling you right now, your insurance company's not watching out for you. Your insurance company's not going to fight for you. You're nothing. If you get in a car accident, fender bender, or total vehicle, God forbid you're injured, yes, better get an attorney because your insurance company do not believe that your insurance company's got, you're what is it? Safe farm hands and shit? No, you're not. No, you're not. You're in good hands with Allstate. No, you're not.
Yeah.
Bet you weren't expecting this one.
Yeah, no, you're not.
Yeah.
I broke my arm. Yeah, I got to pay for that ambulance ride. Like, what are you talking about?
Because it's all part of the plan.
And don't get me started on how much individual health care costs as a self-employed individual.
Kurt Peter, comment dump. Your terrible policy has a $1,000 deduction because you cried about a few bucks a month in premium. No, I didn't cry about it. I never cried about my insurance premium. I never use it.
Yeah.
I never use it. Ever. I never use it. Thankfully, I have not had a need for an insurance premium in, or an insurance claim. And
what a dumb comment that is. It's not about the deductible,
it's not
guy. You're oblivious. You don't get it.
It's not the cost. It's $632. I can afford the $632 as I'm going to have to get my window fixed. It's the principle of it.
Yeah.
It is the principle of it. Your insurance company should be on your side, and they're not. It is. I am telling you, insurance is a scam. It is. It is. I would love to understand. And Tom, I don't know what you do for a living, but if you get hurt in an accident, do call an attorney. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you know. Gabriel said, I'm 18 and I have zero clue about insurance policies and premiums.
Yeah, well, you might want to start learning about it.
But this goes back to the school thing. We don't teach our kids in school about insurance premiums or policies
Nope.
We don't teach our kids the difference between zero deductible, low deductible, high deductible. We don't teach our kids about that stuff. We don't teach our kids that, hey, by the way, the insurance companies are not fighting for you.
Yeah, they're predators.
They quite literally are for-profit businesses. And they lobby to make sure that you have as little right as possible. They do. And they won't fight for you. It's crazy to me.
Yeah.
And it's one of the great mysteries in this world that we don't teach kids about bank accounts, credit cards, insurance, mortgages.
It's not a mystery. School was set up to make employees.
Yeah.
That was the stated purpose.
Yeah. We don't do that. We don't. Truck Stop Gumby, kids don't know about credit card interest. Salty Drunk says, don't make it personal, Jake. Well, this is kind of like this right here. Your terrible policy has $1,000 deductible because you cried about a few bucks a month in a premium. No, I did not cry.
So who exactly made it personal?
We like the last time we set it, when we moved to Utah the last time, we talked about it. Like there's just not a, knock on wood, there's not a reason for us to, like, zero deductible. There's not a reason for, it's not like, if I get in an accident, the $1,000 is not my biggest issue.
No. And why would you pay more to have a lower deductible?
When I, knock on wood, have never had to use, like, it's a matter of, what people don't understand is you can build insurance policies however you want. High deductible, low deductible, like, you want a lower payment every month, you know, like it.
So don't tell me about, we cried about a few bucks a month,
Nobody's crying about it. Nobody's crying about it. Like it's, you know, yeah. Tom also says you could have a zero deductible for probably why do I want a zero deductible? Why do I want a zero deductible? It's not worth getting into. My point is, I called my insurance company today because I needed something. And the things that I think people don't understand, and truly I think people don't understand, that like car warranties, or everybody tells you, oh, bumper to bumper. It doesn't mean bumper to bumper, quite literally. Everything in between the bump, that's not what it means. It's not what it means. Your brakes are not covered. Your tires are not covered. Your, like, car, it's amazing. Like, I owned a Fiat Abarth and I did a bunch of upgrades to it. And the Fiat dealer in Scottsdale, Arizona tried every single way not to cover everything. Oh, you voided your warranty. Well, it turns out when we called, you know, Chrysler of America, it wasn't voided. So you're going to need to fix that.
Good try, though.
Right? Like, it's stuff like that where you paid somebody money. Like, how many people know that you should get a refund, a rebate, really, for your unused auto warranty when you trade your cars in? How many people realize you should get a refund for your sales tax when you trade your car in? Because you pay all that. It's called prepaids. You pay that stuff in advance. Nobody knows that. Do you know how many people have paid and wasted money on warranties because they traded their car in? And nobody checks into it. Like, there's just things they don't tell you. There's no such thing as, you know, like full coverage is a great word in the insurance industry. There's no such thing. There's no such thing. I'm telling you, man, your insurance companies are not out for you. They're not out for you. It makes me crazy. Jimmy says USAA is heaven, but they're only for the military. Yes, they are. And I appreciate your service. Yeah. Jeremy Calzone, car warranties suck, but my home warranty has probably saved me about 20. Now, home warranties, again, but all these warranty things, like I have a home warranty. But again, the day that thing expires, you know my air conditioner is going out.
Mm-hmm.
You know it's going out. Even though I used my home warranty, my wife set up a health check on our air conditioner. It's in great shape. You know.
Yeah.
It's amazing to me. Maury Alvarez, I left Allstate for USAA for the service that they give.
There you go.
That's one thing that bothers me about my current insurance company is I hate calling their, Kurt Peters says, I can't imagine Monty driving a Fiat. It was a rocket ship. I loved it. I loved every second of it. Traded it in for a BMW. It was amazing. It was amazing. Anyway, there you go. That's my venting about stupid insurance stuff. And
there you go.
Auto insurance is a scam. Just believe that. Appreciate every one of you. If you are one of the 100 or 201 people watching the show right now, please hit thumbs up. That would be great. I would appreciate that. Thanks for watching the show. We couldn't do this without you guys. The Monty Show, as always, is presented by our good friends at The Advocates, theadvocates.com, the best injury attorneys in the business. Dude, if I've ever said anything that you can rely on, don't trust your insurance company. Get somebody to fight for you. That's called The Advocates. Theadvocates.com. Chat with an attorney for free online right now. Until tomorrow, say goodbye, Jake.
Goodbye, Jake.